Don't believe in aliens, they're never going to land. Don't believe in cryptids that leave footprints in the sand. Don't believe in spirits appearing from the dead. The only demons out there are living in your head. Dream crusher, the Lord of non-belief. If you can't prove it, no one can get ready for the breeze. For a dedicated skeptic, we all know what that means. He's lurking in the shadows and crushing all your dreams. Dream crusher, the Lord of non-belief. If you can't prove it, no one can get ready for the breeze. For a dedicated skeptic, we all know what that means.
Hello! It's Friday night. What? It's good to see everybody. There is a bunch of people in the chat room already. Man, you guys showed up early. I love it. It's Friday. I'm working. I'm Donna. Donna's not here. She has left me once again. So Tim Vickers is in the background. He's lurking in the background, taking care of the chat room. But everyone is here. We got Linda and Wisdom and Julie and another Julie. We have Julie R. We have Cat Mac. What's up? Friday night date night. Cat Mac. We got Ian. We got Faith. Damn it, Bob's in the house. That frickin' Radford guy is in the house. Why is this intro so long? Because it's a good song. Gets me pumped up. Daniel Reed's in the house. Tim Vicker. Oh my goodness. Tim Vickers is in the house. JD Seward's here. The Yummy Donut. Fantastic Publishing. Yeah. They're the ones that wrote the song. Who else we got? We got a bunch of people. Paranormal Seekers are in the house. What's up? Nice. Nice to see everyone. It's Friday night. I hope you guys are doing good. It is open mic night. That means you guys keep the show going. I'm looking at all these comments. There's so many. Jade Kitten's in the house. What's up? All the cool kids are here on Friday nights. That's right. All the cool kids that have nothing better to do on a Friday night are here. What's up, Tom? Juan Tom. He's in the house. All right. So let's get to the rules. The rules are important. We have to go over the rules. The rules, bam. What? The rules are, oh, look, I'm sweating because I was jamming out. I was jamming. I was like playing drums that I can't play all in the background while the music was going. All right. Rule number 1, you are welcome to ask questions. That's what the show is about. We learn here. We ask questions. We make statements. We put things out there so we can discuss it. And then, sometimes I give a good answer. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Rule number 2 is that I don't know everything. That should be apparent. I mean, you guys have seen the show before. You know I don't know everything, but it's okay. We can learn. I have multiple screens here. We can look stuff up. We can learn together. Rule number 3 is that we follow the Patrick Swayze rule here, and that's be nice. Seriously, be nice. That's basically it. I mean, you can be in the chat room. You can discuss things. You can debate. You can disagree. That's cool. That's part of how we learn, how we progress. But if you devolve into name calling and cursing out people and stuff like that, Tim Vickers has full permission to boot your ass out of here. And he will. I know he will vicar your ass to the next universe. Multiverse. Rule number 4. If you have a question tonight, please do us a favor. Please do us a favor. I'm getting ahead of myself. Put a capital Q in front of it. That way, Tim can pick it out from the comments, put it in the queue. We'll save it for whenever we get to it. And we'll move on. And tonight is the perfect time to do that because it's open mic night. That's right. And then we come to my favorite. This is my special Las Vegas cup that I got last year. Look at that. Shiny. It's shiny. I like it. Ooh. Drink up. Drink up. That's what it is. How am I sounding? I hope I'm sounding good. Oh, side-eye guy is here. Nice. Because I do have to adjust my mic. I was talking to Tim before the show. He said I sounded good, which is good. I want to make sure I'm coming across good to like YouTube and Facebook because the microphone, I love the microphone, but it has to adjust depending on what platform I'm on. Like if I'm on Zoom or if I'm on, there's another like podcast recording platform that I've been on that, that I had to adjust as well. And then StreamYard is just different. So I'm going to have little markings on my mixer just to tell me which one. Dawn of the Dead. Linda, what's up? All right. So it's open mic night. See, it says so up there. So if you guys have questions, please do me a favor, put them in the chat. Again, with a capital Q. I do want to go over something from last week, and I think the week before. It's come up a few times before I get into everything here. So, that means I get to play something. Wait. Ooh, look, and I even have a sign for it too. So a few times I have been asked about this. I hesitate to call it a documentary. It's basically like a extended ghost hunting show called Sir No Face. And it came out years and years ago. I remember watching it. I was not impressed when I watched it. But last couple of weeks, a few people have said, hey, have you seen it? What do you think of this? And it forced me to go back and look at it. So I did start looking at it. I skipped through a lot of parts of it because it was just a lot of filler, a lot of I don't want to talk bad about the guy who made it, but there's a lot of like, I did this and I did that I was picking up. And I just don't like that. It's more like, let's get to the meat, let's get to the meat and potatoes of what you're talking about. And then let's actually consult experts. But instead of experts, I didn't really see too many, but maybe I missed them. Anyway, what I want to show you here is a clip. I'm going to show you the clip of what they're talking about with this. And let me see if I get this keyed up right because I didn't have it set. I had one part set up and I was ready to show it. Now it's going to show me a commercial. Damn it, YouTube. All right, it's okay. We'll get it. We'll get it in a second here. Hopefully. Come on. I know. I need somehow I got to stall for time. Up. There it is. I think that's it. Let me get that. Come on. They're doing a slow-mo here. And then I'll share the screen and you guys can see it. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, this is embarrassing. This is like bad TV programming because I'm like taking my sweet time to get this up on the screen. But it's not where I want it to be. Why? Oh, I think they're going to show it. Here we go. Hopefully I can do this because I know people are weird about that. Let's see. Sharing. There we go. All right. Let me take this extra sign off so that you guys can see it better. And let's go with it. All right, here we go. There you go. That was it. That was like the big thing about this documentary was that this little clip, it's it's looking at a doorway that's not completely open, and then something like kind of does this. Actually, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do a recreation? No, I can't go over too far enough. But it basically comes out like if this is the door frame, it like kind of comes out like this. And they made a big deal about this. And it was just weird. I see a person back there. I just see somebody that kind of wandered into the shot and then moved out of the way. And then they do this recreation. And I had an issue with the recreation. Oh, let's see. Oh, there's the figure that they're saying is a ghost. That's looping. Looping, looping, looping. All right. So this is the recreation. And I want to stop it here because there's something I really noticed here. And this is a detail when I recreate the things, any investigation, details matter. Go watch the Reacher series. It's awesome. But details really matter. And in this right here, what I'm looking at. So this side, I think you can see my cursor. This side is a recreation. This side is the original footage. And what do you guys notice? What do you guys notice about this? So this here is a guy. Somebody says that's Trevor from GTA. So if this is Trevor, he's back there. Well, this says Cat and Craig's or Craig's. So if Craig's back here behind this door, same door, there's two things I noticed right away. All right. I see first the quality is different. So the quality between the recreation and this one is different. The original footage is lower resolution. Yes, different resolution. Thank you, Daniel. Different resolution, definitely different. There you go, yummy donut. Man, I love your name, but you make me want a donut. But yes, you can see that the shadowing is different. Here's the shadow of the door right here going in. That's a pretty thick shadow. And then over here, there's barely a shadow at all. So either they have the camera placement wrong, but I don't think they do. I don't think they really have the camera placement wrong. I think this guy is actually too close to the door. He should be back further. Probably like a 3-4 feet back. The angle is different though. It's slightly different. It's not that bad. I mean, here, there are the hinges. I mean, this is a little bit closer too. But I don't see, I mean, I'm looking at the thickness here, the thickness of this door jamb or the door frame here. So it is a little bit different. Yeah. And this door is open a little bit wider. But that might be because of it's closer. It's zoomed in a little bit more. Anyway, so there you go. I wanted to look at this because this was brought up a few times on consecutive weeks. So I wanted to address this. I wanted to look into it. So I do have an issue with the way that this was recreated, both in the quality / resolution and where the person that was doing the recreation was standing. Plus, he's wearing regular clothes. It looks like a white t-shirt and jeans. I don't know what they were wearing when they went there the first time. I don't have a record of everyone that showed up. Maybe it's in here. I didn't notice that, but I didn't. Like I said, I did skip around. So, but those were my problems with that. I think it could have been done differently, and I would have done it differently if I was doing this. But that's it. I just wanted to say a few things about that. Get that out of the way. So, wow. Let me get my open mic night because I made this. I might as well use it. Oh man, I love you guys. I love coming here Friday nights, hanging out with everyone. Adrian Hill's in the house. What? Dr. Deb? Nice. Okay. Boo Productions. Hello. Hello. Good to see everyone. Soul Seeker Sandy Wolf. Squatch Talk. Entity 7. Oh, Joe Vitale. Who let that motherfucker in? I know he's laughing. Tracy says door is not open as wide in the recreation either. Yes. I mean, these are good. I'm glad you guys are picking these out. because like that, these things stood out pretty quick to me. The angle I noticed, but I wasn't too concerned about that. I was more concerned about the shadow and the quality. Damn it, Kenny! I thought that should. Did you really? Are you just screwing with me? Did you? I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm a killjoy. Apparently, I am also going to hell. For those of you that don't know, I had an interesting email today. It was let me get this out of the way here. Let me put it up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because a lot of you guys are from YouTube now, so you probably didn't see this. I posted it a little bit ago, a couple hours ago. Let me see. Let me share this so you can share in my fan mail, because the fan mail it is. There we go. Oh, let me move that out. Boom. There we go. So I received this message. I recently viewed your ridiculous and heavily biased YouTube video involving two of the world's most well-respected and knowledgeable investigators. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to be professional. Knowledgeable investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. How dare you say such vile things about these two American heroes? Oh my God! I'm gonna burst my liver. Let's see. Who are you to judge these great people? Who are you to question their authoritative conclusions? You are nothing. You are an embarrassment to the entire paranormal community. Thousands of people mourned their passing. The passing of Ed and Lorraine. Nobody will care when you are gone. Not one single soul will care about you. That's the difference between you and them. You do the devil's work. And so to hell with you. To hell we go. I know all you bastards are coming with me. So, oh my goodness. No. This was, I can tell you, this was from a guy named Jim. That's all I'm going to give you, because I really don't want to give any credit to him or attention to him. That's why I take the names out, because I really don't want to give them any credit when I post things like this. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, it was probably Side-Eye Guy that sent it. I say we make this an Ed and Lorraine Warren appreciation show in honor of your latest fan mail. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was a pick me up. That was a pick me up. I get those quite often, where it's just like people love to send me hate mail like that, and sometimes it's anonymous. Sometimes, like I've gotten quite a few where it just uses like a Gmail account, and I go to respond and I get like the rejection email, which is pretty sad when you get a rejection email. It's bad enough when you get it like a rejection piece of mail, because at least they took the time to put it back in the mailbox. Let's see. Mike O of SSC. What's up? Nice to see you. I did send it here. Good. Nothing gets back. I knew it, Seg. You bastard. Yeah, Kenny, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Well, that's crazy. I don't get some people. I don't get some people either. I mean, I get it. I'm very vocal about my opinions. I don't hold back. I try not to. I mean, you don't have to be a dick about it. And granted, sometimes I am, but I think you should be honest with your opinions. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't soften it. Don't pretend to be okay with something just because someone's asking you about it. I mean, and that's how we don't progress. I'd rather have a conversation, and if you mention it and ask me, oh, what do you think? I'm going to tell you, like, I don't like them. I never liked them. I don't think they were good people, and that's that. And if you have a problem with it, then yeah, we can discuss it. We can discuss it nicely. But when I get emails like that, it's like, hey, fuck you. That's my initial response. I have to try to be a little bit professional, a little bit, but not a lot. But I think, yeah, everyone should just be forthcoming, be honest with your opinion. Don't hold back. Don't sugarcoat it, because it's just, what's that do? What's that do? I'd rather people know me and love or hate me for who I am and how I feel than to just like me because of something like the how do I want to say this? Like me because of a personality that they are deceived into believing is true. That's what it is. I don't want to deceive people. I want you to know who I am and what I stand for. So, I mean, if you don't like me, cool. That's good. Go our separate ways, or we can discuss things. I mean, it is what it is. All right. Tonight is open mic night. Open mic night. So, questions. Let's get this banner up here. If you have questions, put them in the chat room. Also, before I get to this one, if you want, it went away. Tim is so good. I love you, Tim, man. You're so good in the background, just like chilling. I can see his little picture in the corner, and he's like, yeah, giving me the thumbs up. And wait, what's that? That's not thumbs. So questions. I totally lost my train of thought. So tonight, if you want to jump on here, if you have a webcam and microphone, and you would like to jump on to, ask your question in person and spend a couple minutes discussing it, that's cool. I am going to put the link in the chat. And this is not just to come on to say hi. I've had people come on and just be like, hi, I don't have a question. And it becomes a little awkward. But yeah, if you do have a question, come on. If you want to make a statement, or if you say like, hey, I do like the Warrens and I want to argue with you, I will say, come on. It'll be entertaining. So that should be it. If you click the link I've just put in the chat, if you want to join us, we'll see who comes on. But, oh my gosh, Dawson is here. Dawson Toller. Who let that bitch in? I'm just kidding. I like Dawson. He's a good kid. Especially unless he calls me an old man. Then I get mad at him. No, I don't really. All right, Tim, what do you got for me? We got a question. Ian, Kenny, I was thinking about dragons in various cultures. Okay. Chinese have them, serpentine landscape figures in North America, dragon-based legends in Wales, UK. What's going on there? I don't know. I mean, let's see. Dragons in different cultures. Let's look that up. Dragons in different cultures. Famous prototypical draconic? Yeah, draconic creatures include so-and-so. I don't know what the origin is. I never looked it up. I mean, I know dragons. Let's see. Wikipedia. Take it as you will. A dragon is a magical, legendary creature that appears in folklore of multiple cultures worldwide. Beliefs about dragons vary considerably through regions, but dragons in Western cultures, since the High Middle Ages, have often been depicted as winged, horned, and capable of breathing fire. Dragons in Eastern cultures are usually depicted as wingless, four-legged, serpentine creatures with above-average intelligence. Commonalities between dragons' traits are often a hybridization. I can see Tim like, oh, he's trying to word. Hybridization of feline, reptilian, I'm not even going to try that one, avian features. Some scholars believe large, extinct, or migrating crocodiles bear the closest resemblance, especially when encountered in forested or swampy areas, and are most likely the template of modern Asian dragon imagery. So that gives you a little bit about it. Oh, we're going to go on because there's more. But wait, there's more. The word dragon entered the English language in the early 13th century from Old French dragon, which in turn comes from the Latin draco, genitive draconis, meaning huge serpent, dragon. I'm glad Crow of Judas isn't in the chat room. That would be bad. From ancient Greek, serpent, it means serpent. The Greek and Latin term referred to any great serpent, not necessarily mythological. Oh, so it looks like these may be things that just caught the attention. We saw creatures and the imagination took over, and from different cultures, they had different influences. Because your cultural influences will affect how you interpret things and how that interpretation shows up in art and other venues like music and song and poems and such like that. So I can see the imagination going a little bit wild, taking liberties, and creating these different styles of dragon. For me, I mean, I grew up with D&D. I was an avid D&D player, and I mean, dragons have always been part of my my fantasy ding. I don't know what you call that. Like it was part of my my culture and growing up. So I've always had it. So I don't know if there's anything to it. Oh, fun fact. I like how fun and fact. Ancient alien theorists believe that dragons in Chinese lore were actually ancient alien ships, because of course they did. Of course. Wow. So is Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, a dragon? Oh, Cat Mac. No, that is, I mean, I guess you could. Well, it doesn't have wings. It doesn't have horns. It doesn't breathe fire. So no, I don't think it would be a fire-breathing dragon. I don't think it would be a dragon at all. So what was that? Loch Ness Monster. I forget the plesiosaur. The plesiosaur. I think that's Loch Ness Monster. Facts. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's the most common not explanation, because it's not an explanation. Common rumor or belief. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Belief. That it's a plesiosaur. I think that's what it is. It's not right in origin of the name, sightings. George Arthur Grant, the surgeon's photograph. Yeah, that was good. So yeah, I think I wouldn't call it a water dragon. That's good wisdom. I like that. A water dragon. Maybe. Marco Polo was alleged to have seen dragons, or so it is written. Marco, how many of y'all said polo? How many? Be honest. Tell me in the chat room if you actually said polo. I know some of you did. Hi, Steph. All right. Wow. Do we have shy people tonight? There are no questions coming in. I don't see any. You got questions, I got answers, or I'll just keep talking, or it might be a short show. We might get to the break and have to bail out because there's nothing going on. Is there anything else I wanted to get to? Let me see. Flashlight trick, motivation, no, psych, I had that. Sir No Face was the big thing that I wanted to get to. Sir No Face, by that. Locations, Cockatoo Island. I have notes from last week that I'm trying to go over, but I don't see anything. Oh, I have Cat Mac, Psychic Family. Cat Mac, I got a lot of notes on you. A lot of notes. I still have to order your sash, your custom sash. Your freak sash. Freaking day. All right. Ooh, we got one. Adrian Hill. Why are ghost hunting shows always in the dark? Is there a reason? Drama. I think that's really it. I think it's drama. I mean, this question comes up a lot. It really does. Why do most ghost hunts take place at night? Why is it in the dark? Why do they turn out the lights? And I think there's a combination of reasons. One, I think it is because it is spooky. It is for drama. It's so much better to do it in the dark to do your ghost hunt in the dark because it's spookier that way. It's more drama. So if ghosts are afraid of the light. So no, I mean, no, so many sightings, so many experiences that I hear they happen in the morning or during the day in broad daylight with the lights on. All of this, very few actually happen in the dark. So I don't know where the original reasoning came in. I'm going to say the second reason that I would give of why these are done in the dark is because of convenience. If you have a business or even a home, I mean, sometimes it's more convenient to have a group of ghost hunters come over that night instead of during the day. Because obviously during the week, most of us are working. Most of us are working during the day, so we're not home. But at night, that's when people come out and say, all right, good, do your thing, and it's nighttime. On the weekend, might be the same thing. They might have stuff to do. People might have stuff to do, or a business might be open on the weekend. Restaurants, inns, bed and breakfast, these are places that are all open during the day and have guests. So you don't want to disturb your guests or your customers. So come in after hours. Another reason is because night vision makes for more drama. I mean, honestly, especially when the ghost hunting shows first came out, night vision was like the rage. That was the big thing. You had night shot, you had super night shot, you had all these night vision cameras. People were IR this, IR that. Everything was there. So people were like excited about doing this, and they wanted to use it in everything. So interesting. I mean, it's very interesting, and it made for good drama. It made for good TV. People were spooked. A young, impressionable audience will sit there and watch it like, oh my God, what's going to happen? They can't see. They can't see. I mean, that adds how much drama is added when your main ghost hunter is carrying a camera around and it's in the dark. They can't see anything unless they're looking at the little LCD screen, and then something happens and they try to run. I mean, I don't know about you, but every time I've watched that, I'm going, trip and fall, trip and fall. Come on, trip and fall. And sometimes it happens, and then I have to rewind it because I laugh so hard. I usually fall off my chair, and I have to rewind it and watch again. But that was a good question. I'm going to hold off on questions because we do have someone that popped up. I think this is the first time I'm going to actually talk to this person. So let's see who this is. What's up, Bruce?
Hey, Kenny.
How are you?
All right.
You came on. You got a question? What's up?
Well, to coincide with what you were just talking about, yes, I have tripped a couple of times.
So have I. I mean, sometimes it's brutal because you really, I mean, unless you've done it, you don't understand. But like you look at that little screen and you're so adjusted to that. And then all of a sudden you hear something and you jump because you're startled, and you turn to run and realize you can't see shit. And you run right into something. You trip over like a table or a chair or a step, and next thing you know, you face plant right into the floor.
Yep.
But
so
how are you?
To answer, I'm pretty good. So to answer one of your questions, at least for my paranormal team that I run, one of the reasons why we tend to do things at night and with everything shut off is because that way it lessens the amount of electricity that's coming through. With lights off and stuff, it helps figure out where the EMF fields are coming in from. So that way I know if lights are giving me a high EMF reading, okay, yeah, forget that room. So shut the lights off, and if I get a 0 milligauss on the meter, then I'm like, okay, now we can use and kind of focus on. So doing it at night helps with shutting off all the equipment, shutting off what's in the place. And plus, not to mention, if we have whoever lives in the home or business there leave for the night, it lessens the amount of whispering and talking going on when we're trying to record stuff. Okay. So reason why we tend to do things at night and with power dissipated.
That's actually one of the better answers I've heard. That you're actually trying to control the environment a little bit better than normal.
Right.
So that's cool. So when you go to a place, do you actually do you encourage like the owner to leave?
We do. And like the last place I recently did was a wine restaurant bar where customers can go up to a machine and put their cups underneath, and wine of whatever choice they want will come out. And then they do like charcuterie boards and stuff like that with it. So they had us shut down for the night. The place was located in Plymouth, Mass. So, of course, old town area. And with that, we had a lot of people who would claim that work there, claim they've seen or heard stuff. So, with that said, next door, which was also in the same building, was basically an antiques place that left and moved across the street because of rent wise. They didn't want to pay more rent, so they went across the street. But they claim that some of the stuff that was in there, they think may have caused some of the attachments to things.
Oh, so you're going with like haunted objects or stuff like that.
Well,
right?
that's what they claim, but
Okay.
I was going in there just to, one, I'm a very big skeptic. I try to disprove the hauntings as much as I can. In the case of if I step on a certain floorboard and it pops a cabinet door open, and I'm like, there's your answer. That's what you got going on. It's not a ghost, it's you. So, with that said, I do everything I can to disprove, or you go in and say, hey, is this really haunted? And what do I have to figure out? And I spend hours on it before I say, hey, this is what I got, this is what I didn't get. If I don't have any type of audio or video that shows me anything other than, then it's disproved. If it's something that's on audio or video that I've caught, then it's not normal. So then I'll just label it paranormal, but I'm not saying it's a ghost. So with that said, with my type of investigating, some people, again, may say, well, you're not looking for ghosts. I'm like, no, I'm looking for answers. I'm not looking for, I'm not going there as a ghost hunter. I'm going in as an investigator looking for the truth. And so with that said, before I even get into a place, I spend weeks on historical documents, who's lived and died in the place, or if it's a business.
So you're researching before you go in.
Oh yeah, way before. I mean, it's
I like
at least a couple of weeks before I even set foot in there, other than just to go walk in to do an initial look at the building, look at the specs, and I'm like, okay, we'll be in touch with you. We spend the next couple of weeks doing the research, and then we come back, and then for the sake of the argument, we'll go in there, they'll close up the place, or if it's a house, they'll leave for the night, because it's a lot easier for me to get more results and answers than not having somebody in there, especially when I've had occasions where people in the past have asked me, where's your TV cameras? Where's your this? And they've invited people over, and it's like, that's not me.
Right.
Those are the guys that that you see on the TV show. There's more of us than them.
Right.
So with that said,
so with this question, I think even during the day, you're still going to have a lot more ambient light coming in.
And
yeah,
I've also gone to places during the day, and so it's not just at night that you hear noises and things. Stuff can happen in the day. So when that's said, I'll ask them, what's the time of day that you hear things? What is it like bright out? Is it getting close to dark time? Is it way in past midnight? And I want them to keep a journal to tell me what they hear, what they see, what their results are. And that's what we tell them before we actually come in during those 2 weeks. If what is heard and said, we want the same, I guess you could say we want the same environment that we're going to go in.
You're
so
looking
we know.
I'm sorry. You're looking for the same conditions.
Yes.
The same conditions as their experience, the experience that they're telling you. You want to try and get as close as possible to the same conditions to see what's going on.
Right.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
So that's basically what we do. So
thank you. I appreciate you coming on and letting us know, giving us a different perspective. That's good. I like that. I mean, you actually gave me a good answer, and I like that. And I like the fact that you research beforehand. So many teams don't do that. And for me, I do the same thing. I want to research the hell out of it before I get there, because sometimes you might find like the whole story for the ghost never really existed, and I've done that a bunch of times. So I appreciate you doing that. I think that's a good way to do it. Good method. All right, cool. Thank you for coming on. This is your first time, right?
Coming on, but I've asked questions in the past.
Okay, but this is different. You were a virgin and you no longer are.
Thanks.
You're no longer a skeptical help bar virgin.
No.
Sorry. All right. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Bye bye. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I like that. Getting different perspectives, and I seriously do like the fact that he researches beforehand. I've come in. So many teams that I've interacted with refuse to do that. Like, they refuse to know anything except for the stories, like the ghost stories. They won't research the history until afterwards. And I mean, you do what you want, but for me, like, I think you should know beforehand. So many times I've saved myself time during an investigation, one of my investigations, by researching it ahead of time. So I guess I really didn't save time, because all that saved time was actually used or researching. So, and a few things before we move on. A few things. I noticed some of the comments that were coming up. Thanks, Tim. That power, encouraging the owner to like getting the owner to leave. I don't know if I agree with that totally. Because just for responsibility and what's the word? Liability. I like to have them there with me the entire time, but I also do different ghost hunts or investigations. Still a little bit more, because I just go through claim by claim and I look at them, and I get what he said. Like, I agree with Bruce when, like, I don't want someone breathing over my neck. I want to be able to let me work first, and then I will bring you along. But I try to do that all in one night if I can, instead of having to come back like weeks later. But I still like what he said. I get the power thing. Yes, turning the lights off. I prefer to have the owners present so we can actually show them what is causing their issues, and they can understand what we debunk. I agree too. I mean, that's the way I roll. I want them there because if I have questions too. I mean, it's that give and take. Like, I don't want someone like literally over my shoulder. Like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? But I also understand that they're curious and they're interested in what I'm doing. So I usually look at it as a teaching moment, and I try to use that as much as possible. So when I go along, I ask them questions. Where did your experience take place? Are there multiple ones? Let's go one by one. Where did this start? Okay, here, what happened? What do you remember? Okay, this happened. Let's go through the steps and try to recreate it, and then go from there. And then most of the time, at least for me, we figure it out together, which is probably the best way to do it. It's not always what happens, but it's the most ideal situation when I figure out something, they see it in real time, and it's not just me telling them, it's them seeing it at the same time, which is awesome. I think that's awesome. And then somebody, I think Dan said about something about less light will enhance your hearing. I don't think that's what happens. your hearing is your hearing. You don't enhance it because you can't see. You become more focused on it. I will agree with that. I mean, if you can't see anything, you're more dependent on your hearing. So it doesn't enhance, but you pay more attention to it rather than giving most of your attention to your sight and a little bit of attention to your hearing. I think you just devote more attention to your hearing, and that becomes your main sense coming in, but it's not enhanced. So I just wanted to say that. I mean, I might be wrong. I'll look it up. I almost knocked something over. Look this up for next week, so I can do my "What did I learn last week" segment, because I like doing that. I mean, I made a little intro for it, so I have to use it every chance I get. All right. With that said, what else we got, Tim? Cat Mac, what else did you learn? What else did you learn last week? Well, I learned that, let's see, what did I learn? I learned a few things. I mean, I learned that balloons are probably the number one most mistaken object for UFOs. There will be a video coming out soon. I got to work on it this week. But there was a recent UFO sighting from an airliner, a commercial airliner, and it made News Nation. I mean, News Nation. Anyway, but there was a video on there. Mick West, who is the uber awesome Mr. Fantastic when it comes to UFO debunking claims. He's awesome. I love his work. But I got sent the video, and my first reaction was, "That's a balloon. It looks like a balloon. It looks like a balloon to me." And then my boss, who sent me the link, said, "That's what Mick said." And I was like, "Oh, well, good. I mean, if I'm on, that's right, Mike. If I'm on the same page as Mick, I feel confident." And then I went to Mick's website. If you've never been to Mick's website, it's Metabunk. If you go to metabunk.com, awesome site. I mean, they really get into detail, and he broke down a lot. Found the exact flight that the lady that was took the video that she was on was able to go through, calculate everything to figure out the approximate size of the object based on the advancement through the video and the frame rate. I mean, it's awesome. It's really the anal details kind of stuff that I get into. I love it. But the one thing I went ahead and did, which I did last time, there was a balloon that was mistaken for a UFO, was I went out and purchased a balloon. That was a sneak peek. You're the only ones that are seeing that so far. But I got the balloon that I think it was involved, and I went out and took pictures and was able to recreate it perfectly. Yes, the UFO movie they don't want you to see. It is freaking awesome. I mean, the only thing that would have made it better is if I was in it. No, I'm kidding, because I'm glad Mick was in that too, because he's just amazing. I mean, he is amazing at what he does, and he is the most calm and gentle-spoken person I know. I love it. So that's one thing I learned, and like I said, I'm going to be spending tomorrow in here making a short video on that, just going over the little details, and hopefully I'm trying to get Mick into a interview. I'm trying to get him. I reached out to him. I'm waiting for him to get back for an interview so I can talk to him about it, go over the stuff that he figured out, and then add on my recreation outside. Because actually what you saw was the second balloon. The first balloon, I got some good video until it got stuck in a tree. And then me and Eric behind the wall tried to get it out. And that was unsuccessful because the line broke and the balloon went bye-bye. So now it is quite possibly going to be another UFO sighting somewhere in the Buffalo area. So be prepared, because there's a number 7 black balloon somewhere in the skies. I think it was heading towards Rochester. So just a heads up. All right. Let's see. if dragons did exist, damn it, Bob, would you keep one as a pet? How about a unicorn? I would definitely do a dragon. A unicorn, we would probably have one because Donna would want one. You know, I mean, that's just a given. And if I'm going to have a dragon, I mean, I can't argue against the unicorn. I really can't. I mean, as long as my dragon could fly, could breathe fire, and just was badass. So there you go. I would, yeah, with tattoos and shit. That would be fun. That would be fun. I'd be like, yo, I want to go to Florida. Come on, let's go. What would I call him? What would I call my dragon? Spitfire. Spitfire? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Depends on what color it was. I'd like it to be I would like a blue dragon. I think I would like blue because red and orange and stuff, that would be shiny, but I want a shiny blue one. There you go. All right, moving on. Sort of Rican. I don't know if I'm allowed to say your name. Am I allowed to? I don't know. If you give me permission, I'll be okay with it. Kenny, what are your thoughts on Santeria and voodoo? Santeria. Let me look that up because I'm not exactly sure. Not Toria. Is an Afro-Caribbean religion that developed in Cuba in the late 19th century. It is a syncretic. How do you say that? SYNC. Let's ask Google. Let's do this. Let's see pronunciation, because I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Sancretic religion that combines elements of Catholicism with the religion of the, oh my God, all these words. Yoruba people from West Africa. I apologize if I'm screwing that up. Kenny learns words. That's right. I need a new segment. We're gonna have a full show. West Africa and spiritism is often described as animistic and is based on the idea that religion can improve one's life. Believers strive to achieve a good life. It says La Vida Alegre, or the good life. So, I mean, if I don't know if it gets into something else. Like, it just sounds like religion this is a different religion. It's a mix of other religions that incorporates, elements of each. Catholicism and spiritism and this Yoruba. That was wrong. I don't think I should have done that. It sounds like it just takes the elements from different religions and puts them together. Maybe this is, and I'm not using this in a mean way, but cherry picking the parts that they like and brings it together. So I don't really know if there's, it sounds like just another religion. Voodoo, I'm assuming that this has more to do with like the practice of magic and voodoo dolls and stuff like that. And I believe, let me make sure, because some of this stuff, like, understand that I do look this stuff up over time, and I had read about it, but then, I get into other things, so I forget about it. And I have just a kind of familiar, kind of reminiscent, blurry remembrance of what's going on. And I have to refresh my memory on it. So voodoo is a religion practiced in parts of the Caribbean, southern U.S., combining elements of Roman Catholic ritual and traditional African magical and religious rites, characterized by sorcery and spirit possession. So, sorcery. A sorcerer has a cape. Wizards have a hat. That I know. So, it sounds like pretty much any other religion. If people follow it, they have their own practices. They have their own beliefs. When it comes to magic, I I was raised Catholic, so that's the only thing I can really compare it to. That's my anchor. That's my what is it? That's basically what I compare everything to, because that's what I know the best. And I mean, they had their own magic, saying prayers to get things to happen, praying for people to get well, praying for to get that job, praying to, hopefully you don't go to jail. Not that I've done that, but I see that as a form of magic. The idols, the medallions, the rosaries, all this stuff, this is all magic to me. So I kind of treat them all the same. They all have their alleged magic powers, even if they don't call it magic. But at the very basic level, that's what it is. So I hope I answered your question. I know that's a roundabout way of doing it, and I'm not really well versed in those topics, but hopefully that answered the question. Moving on, though. What do we got? Oh, we're almost at pee break. Woo-hoo-hoo, that's good. Wisdom. Do you actually pronounce it wisdom, or do you say wisdom? Because it's spelled dome. I'm just curious. I probably asked you before. All right, so you asked, have you seen the video about the guy levitating halfway across a river? Just curious how it was done. I have seen that. And that is actually a well-known trick. It's a magic trick, basically. And he is on cables. He does have cables, and the cables are painted out. If you look online, I forget the magician that does it. He's done it in cities and parking lots and stuff like that. But it's the same thing. And if you watch, like sometimes they have a jump rope, or they try to do like something like that where it looks like they're going all the way around. In many cases, if you look closely, when he's holding the jump rope and going around like this, he actually opens his hands and he goes around it. And I think he goes backwards. So he's actually going around the rope each time. So it looks like he's jumping rope, but Chris Angel does it. There's another guy that does it, and it's like his main trick. He's done it a lot. It wasn't David Copperfield. I mean, I don't know if he did it first years ago, but when I looked it up, I saw one magician, one younger guy, like over and over and over again. He has a bunch of videos. Let me look it up, because that's what we do here. We look shit up. Let's see. What do I type? magician. Levitating. Let's see. Videos. Dun, dun. Magician performs mind-blowing levitation. What is this guy? Dun, dun. Oh. You always have to play a commercial. Why? To make money. I know. The Masked Magician. Oh, this is the Masked Magician. I don't want to see that. All right, I'll look it up because I don't want to spend too much time on it. But basically, it is on wires. There's wires connected here, and that's why they do like this whole kind of thing where they're out. $10 a month gets those commercials. That's an inside joke with Tim. Oh my goodness. He's trying to convince me to get on OnlyFans. Screw you, Tim. No, I'm kidding. He's in control of everything. I don't want to piss him off. But yeah, it is wires that are connected like around the waist or down here that go up like this way. And if you notice, the motions will always be to make sure that they don't actually go all the way around where they would hit that wire. But I've seen it dozens of times. Hello, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. This is my friend. I've talked to him a bunch of times. He does classes with critical thinking. He teaches critical thinking to kids, which is really, really cool. Really, really awesome. All right. What else we got? I see we got a bunch of... Oh, wait. It's pee break time. Let's go to pee break. How about that? Because that's another rocking song. All right. Here we go. I will see you guys. I'm going to go refill my cup. I'm going to... do the other thing. Biddle on OnlyFans. Paranudity. Oh my, you don't want to see this nude. Not at all. Oh, man. All right. I will see you back here in just over 4 minutes from now.
And now for something completely different.
Welcome, my fellow skeptics. Welcome, one and all. I am the chief investigator. Oh, come along, old chap. We will have a ball. Now, if you will excuse me, it's time to open the mic. Good night. Good night. Kenny Biddle's the name, investigating's my game, and I will have at it. Quid pro quo. As the head of this committee, hunting for ghosts can be shitty, but there is nothing better that I know. I am a skeptic through and through. I question everything, don't you? Let's open the bar and ask some questions, alright? Maybe you might find an answer or two. I will find the truth this night and day, and if my name is not Kenny Biddle, then I assure you here I will not stay. Good day! Kenny Biddle's the name, ghost hunting's the game. I won't let anything get in my way. Too many fakers out there, too many chefs, too many tongue tappers, none of it makes any sense. I am a skeptic through and through. I question everything, don't you? Let's open the bar and ask some questions, alright? Maybe you might find an answer or two. Who knows? There may be ghosts in the machine, but trust me, I am not so keen. I prefer to see these things clearly, not in 144p. I am a skeptic through and through. I question everything, don't you? If you don't think I am right, let's open night night. Yeah, yeah. I am a skeptic through and through. I question everything, don't you? If you don't think I am right, let's open mic night. Yeah. If you have an answer or two, let Kenny Biddle solve it for you. Let Kenny Biddle solve it for you. The one and only Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle. Kenny
Ian, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, Dynamo. That's the magician. If you look him up, you'll see the tricks that he does. Pretty good. Really good. I mean, it's good with editing. I mean, he definitely needs editing. But if you also look up like that and like tricks revealed, you'll see some behind the scenes stuff, and you'll see like the breakdown of like where the hands are passing the jump rope over the rope. So yeah, check that out. Really cool. Darren Brown. Yes. Good guy. I like him. Right. Let's get into it. Second hour. Can we make 3? Will we go 3? I have no Donna. I mean, it really depends on Tim. If Tim wants to hang out, we go 3 if there's more questions. Excuse me. Woo. Daniel Reed. Hello, my friend. What projects are going on at CFI now that the eclipse has passed? Ooh. So let's see. We're still working on our timeline project because that's getting close to being done. We have a section of the building down there that's more offices, and it was kind of plain. So we spruced it up. We put some display cases out with brochures and paperwork and items and artifacts from our history, CFI's history, going back almost 50 years. In 2026, we will celebrate 50 years because we started in 1976. So on the wall, there's this huge timeline. We got a 13-foot vinyl decal that we put up on the wall that has everything from 76 up to 2026. And then we have labels all over the place with different events. And we have a book that actually gives you a description of each event. Every page is one event with a description to it. And that's going to build into some more. We have plans. We haven't actually started tackling it yet, but we have plans to try to do a superstition bash, which I believe in September, we have a Friday the 13th. Let me check that real quick. Going April, May, June, July, August, September. Yes, September 13th is a Friday. And I think we're going to shoot for that. We're going to bring it up at the next advisory board meeting, which I'm part of the advisory board for the Western New York branch of CFI. So we're going to talk about that and hopefully have the largest superstition kind of breaking or participating event. We're going to see if I did sign up for the Guinness Book of World Records, and I've reached out to them to see if there was a record. I couldn't find a record for this, like how many superstitions were performed and or broken in one day. I have reached out to them, waiting for them to get back to me. And then we're going to try and set up stations all over, like inside and outside in the parking lot, to see if we can have people come out and just have fun, something just really, really fun to do. Otherwise, SciCon is coming up October. That's our big event, really, really big event. And I'm going to be out there this year. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm very excited to come out. I'm going to do a workshop with Jim Underdown again. So I'll be in Las Vegas in October. And I have a bunch of other events coming up. Skepticamp. There's a Skepticamp next month in North Carolina that I'll be down in the Raleigh area. I'll be down there with the Triangle Skeptics, doing a Skepticamp with them. But that's it for the big projects. There's a lot of little projects. I mean, you guys always see this whiteboard over here that it does change once in a while. You can see there's an empty space. I actually completed something. I completed that right there. I completed something that was there, but that gets filled in pretty quick. And then even today with the balloon UFO video that was released a couple days ago, I'm going to work on a piece on that. So lots of other stuff. I know Eric behind the wall, he has a lot of plans in the works, but nothing we can reveal yet because they take time. I mean, that eclipse event, that took a year. That was literally, we started in April of last year planning that. And I mean, it was a big success, but some of these events are really big and take a lot of planning. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cool. Good question, though. Thank you. Gets us out there and promote CFI. I like that. It looks weird when I look directly at the camera because it looks like my eyes are crossing. That's weird. Boo Productions. Uh-oh. What's up, Jeff? Are you a complete skeptic, or are you open to having something change your mind? So this is a good question, and I want to address this because I think we have a difference in what that means. So to me, a skeptic means that I have doubt. I have doubt about something. I hear an extraordinary claim. or I hear a claim that I'm not so sure is true. And I'm just not sure because I don't know. So I'm skeptical about it. I have some doubts about it. Authenticity. Oh my goodness. How much have I had to drink? Authenticity, efficiency, who's telling me, and so on. There's all these things that might be involved. So I want to check on it. I want to fact check it. I want to do a little search. I want to spend some time looking it up. So I'm definitely open. I'm definitely open to, changing your mind. Being open to changing your mind is part of it. So in science, that's what happens. You basically, we research stuff, we test things, we experiment, we come to a conclusion. And if new information comes out later that proves to be valid, that changes the worldview. That changes our minds. Like, oh, all right, something else happened. There was new information introduced into this. And now that changes everything. We have to reevaluate what's going on and incorporate this new validated information into our worldview. And thus we change our mind. I think what you may be referring to is more on the cynic side. So for me, again, this is my interpretation. Cynics are more the people that are their armchair kind of not debunkers. No, that's wrong. Cynics are people that pretty much dismiss things out of hand. They don't look into it. They just have their beliefs. They're basically the polar opposite of a total believer. So for me, a total believer will just accept things at face value. They don't ask for proof. They just go because it's what they believe is true. And the opposite, the cynic, the very cynic person is the polar opposite, where they just deny everything because they also believe it to be false. So yeah, I am totally open to it. I will go out. That's why I continue to go out with paranormal teams and ghost hunting groups and monster groups, cryptid groups and UFO hunters and stuff like that. I'll keep going out there because I want to see what they have. I want to see what has them convinced that something is going on. And I've done that plenty of times. I spent an entire night with Dawson, who is a YouTube ghost hunter, Side Eye Guy, Joe Fatale, Dawn, and then Josh from Spirit Seekers or Paranormal Seekers. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. I keep forgetting the name. Now I got to look it because I got to make sure. Josh is such a nice guy. Paranormal Seekers. Let me see if that's right. I have that right. Dun, dun. Yes, Paranormal Seekers. Because he does a lot of debunking videos on YouTube. And he's a really super nice guy. Love him. I enjoyed investigating with Kenny. It was fun. And I liked investigating with you, Joe. It was a lot of fun. Like I told you, I was impressed with what you were doing and how you were approaching things. So really, really nice. So I think I answered your question. I hope I did. I'm definitely open to it. If people want me to come out, if they're interested in saying, oh, you know what? We have this place. We really think it's haunted. It has ghosts or demons, especially if it has demons, because that's my jam. I will go out. Invite me out if you want. And if it's within driving distance, I'll come out. If I don't have anything to do that weekend or even during the week, I'll come out and take a look. I'll join you. I'll see what you guys are doing. And if you want to talk and engage in conversation about procedures or methodology or equipment and stuff, I'll happily do it. So I am definitely open to it. But thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Moving on. Now look, I can see. I try to look cool without my glasses. Try to feel young again, but it doesn't work when I'm like, what? What's that say? All right. So did the kidnapped guy behind the wall go ghost hunting yet? The kidnapped guy, Eric behind the wall? No, he has not. I think you've asked this before. He has not yet, because unfortunately the things that I've done, like the last one I went to was the Bel Air House in Ohio, and he was busy. I think he had a disc golf tournament, So he's a big time disc golf player, and he runs tournaments, and he did a charity event for CFI, raise money for CFI, and it was I got to go because I worked the table. We had a booth for CFI, just talking about what we did and who we are and stuff. So it was the first time I got to see it in person. Never been to a disc golf tournament or anything, never seen it on TV, anything. Just know from what he was telling me. So it was actually interesting to see how many people showed up. I mean, there was a lot. There was well over 100 people that showed up and did all this. So, but I haven't taken them yet. And if there is a place nearby, I mean, if you guys know a place or have access to a place that's nearby in the Buffalo area, let me know. Or if you can, invite me out, because I would love to come out. I would love to take Eric, because I know he still wants to go and experience that, because he was fascinated. He loves this kind of stuff. Like, he's fascinated by the way people think and why they believe things. And when I took him to the what's the guy's name? The guy that did Paranormal Lockdown. I forget his name. I'm totally drawing a blank. But we went to like a screening of one of his shows for like the next season, I guess. It's on YouTube, so I don't know if it's actually a season or not. But we went to one of those, and he was like, "Oh, Nick Groff, thank you, Kate." Yeah, he was fascinated. Like, this theater was full of people, and it was like a sporting event. People yelling and screaming and cheering and stuff, and he was like, "Wow, this is interesting." I mean, he also the nicest guy. Like, he wasn't making fun of them. He was just fascinated by the enthusiasm. And then when we watched the episode, because it was up on the big screen, I mean, personally, it was not exciting. I mean, I didn't find it exciting at all. And I felt like all the things that they were like pointing out, like, "Ooh, like this could be paranormal, or this could be a ghost, or this and that." Like, there were a lot of mistakes. There were a lot of inconsistencies throughout the show. And just to see everyone overlook them and just not pay attention to them was fascinating to both of us. Even though I've been in this for like years and decades. Oh shit, I'm old. It was still fascinating to me. So I hope that answered your question, and we'll move on. I got to shuffle off to Buffalo. Yes, Cat Mac, you got to come out to Buffalo. Come take a tour of CFI. I'll take you a personal tour. It's like 2 hours, because we have a lot of shit to show. All right, let's see. Wisdom. Is it better to know the history before you do an investigation compared to doing research after and then comparing the two? So this is the way I approach it. I don't know why I keep taking my glasses off, like I'm going to get smarter or something. Basically, I do it beforehand because I want to know the claims. And I also want to just weed out the false claims. Because if you have a history that is being told that is the reason a ghost is haunting the place, like the story that you tell that allegedly happened during like a building's history is the sole reason that this ghost is here, I want to know if that history is true or not. Because if it isn't, I don't want to waste time on that. Because if you get there and you're just looking at claims, I mean, I'm going to look at the claims anyway, but I don't want to just start blaming like someone that died 100 years ago. I want to be able to look at it and go, well, you know, like you have 10 claims, 10 ghosts here. You have 10 different stories, and none of the stories have any basis in history. There's no historical facts to back these up. It sounds like everyone just made them up. So sometimes that's a reason not to go to the place because there's no basis for me to go. Let's see. I'm torn. Couldn't researching the story contribute to priming? But on the other hand, you have to know what you were looking for. I'm going to have to think about this. You think about it. But I agree. Like I want to know beforehand. I want to know before I'm going in because I want to know what to focus on. And I also, I mean, knowing. So let me give you an example. I've used this before. Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia. There was a story about the screaming ghost and apparently it was Elizabeth Pratt, who she had a daughter that ran away with an unlisted man and married him, and then died of, I believe, like typhoid or some kind of disease. And the mother was so heartbroken over this that she hung herself from the second floor of the officers' quarters. So that's a basic story. That's a story that I've known for decades, going to that fort, visiting the fort all the time. So when I really started digging into the history of it, I found out that, for one, there was an Elizabeth Pratt that did live on the grounds at one point, but her daughter was under the age of 8. So she did not get married and run off with an unlisted man. And then when she was at the fort, the officers' quarters did not have a second floor. It just didn't. Today, well, it used to. There was a big fire, but it did have a second floor when I was visiting. But that was not, it didn't exist while she was there. So this history told me, like, hey, this story didn't happen the way it's told. It can't, because one character just couldn't do what the story says, and then the other character couldn't do what they said because there was no structure there. So I didn't really focus on that. I didn't waste my time in that building. I looked elsewhere for what the cause, because she was called the Screaming Lady because people heard her scream. And then I found out that there was a nature preserve for red-tailed hawks in the area, which, when you hear any of them scream, sounds just like a woman screaming. Scary. So yeah, when I go into a place, I want to research it as much as possible. I want to know what all the claims are. I want to know what people have found before me, because maybe a mystery was solved. Maybe I don't have to waste time. If there was a good investigation, somebody really did it and figured out what was causing an experience, that saves me trouble. That saves me the time and work of trying to figure that out. I can focus on other things. So I definitely go with beforehand. That's my approach. All right, moving on. That was good. Wisdom. What if it is the owner that is haunted and not the home? Move. No, I don't. What if it's the owner that is haunted and not the home? So now we run into an issue, because I don't have a belief in hauntings whatsoever. So I don't think ghosts exist. I don't think a house is going to be haunted by something that doesn't exist. So I don't think a person can be haunted by something that doesn't exist, as far as I'm concerned. So if a person is haunted, they think they are haunted, I would definitely, absolutely, first step would be call your GP. Call your GP, make an appointment, go in and see them, and take it from there, because I am not qualified to deal with something like that. And I think that's a responsibility that we all have going into it. I look at behaviors. I'm lucky enough to have friends and colleagues that are into the professions, that are qualified to assess behaviors, and I can consult them and say, hey, I have this person, this is what they're saying, this is their behavior, I'm feeling weird about it, like something's triggering me, something is a red flag to me, and I'll get advice from them. But if I have that kind of feeling, I don't approach it. That's not my area. I'm not going to dive into that, because, one, I'm not qualified. Two, I could do more harm than good in that situation. And I think that's a problem across the field. Oh my God, I called it a field. Across the community, because I think too many ghost hunting teams take it upon themselves to be an authority when they go into a private home or even a workplace, and they start not diagnosing per se, but start trying to attribute like ghost or demonic possession or demonic something or other to an issue that might be a mental health issue. And instead of taking the high road and saying, hey, you know what, this is beyond me. Maybe you should talk to your GP first and see what they say. Many ghost hunters take it upon themselves to make that decision and make that determination. And I think that's one of the big problems in this community. So, Belair House. We got to talk, Joe. All right. So I hope that answered your question. Hopefully. Damn it, Bob. A very not serious question. Have you seen the NDT dancing video? Can you dance like Neil? Neil deGrasse Tyson dancing video. I tell you what, I have not seen the video, but depending on how much rum I've had, I mean, I think I dance like really good. But again, like if I have a little bit of rum, I'm like, yeah, I'll dance like a white man. If I have a lot of rum, man, I got my groove on. All right, I'm going to move on from that question. It's going to get me in trouble. Wisdom question, maybe a weird question. Hey, you're in the right place. Does all debris from a tornado come down? I was not expecting that. Oh my goodness. I really did not expect that. I just I don't know. Let's see what Google says. I would imagine I would have to go with yes. I mean, everything that's picked up by the tornado, by the swirling winds, and everything goes up and then it comes down. I mean, I'm going to go out and confidently say that none of the stuff achieves escape velocity. So it's not like anything is going into orbit from a tornado. It's eventually going to come down. So yeah, it's gonna. I'm not even gonna look it up now because now the more I think it through, yes, it's all going to come down unless I'm trying to think of an unless, because I started to say that by like instinct. I don't know why, but now I'm trying to recover and I don't think I can. So I'm gonna. I might have to just jump to a different subject just to get myself out of this predicament. No, I think everything's going to come down. That's what I'm going to go with. Goes up and comes down. There you go. All right. Good. Weird question. Yes, Wisdom, that was a weird question. But you are certainly in the right place. Sharknado. I have not seen any of the Sharknadoes. I haven't seen any of them. Because I mean, I love stupid comedy. But I just couldn't. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. No, I have stuff to do tonight. I don't know. We'll see. All right. What else we got? Wendy Y. Hello. Kenny, do you find that you usually debunk things by recreating them? Or are most things very easy for you to debunk by sight? Now, since you've been doing it so long. So there's a mix. It's a good question. There's a mix. I mean, there's quite a few things that I do see that I recognize right away. And like if I see them on TikTok, because I do a lot of TikTok videos where I will recreate scenarios. But if I recognize it and I've done it before, I will usually comment. I'll just type out a comment and just say, hey, I've done this. It's usually this. If you want, go see my video where I go through it. So there's quite a few things where I do see it. I do recognize it. But I still try to explain it in as much detail as possible because there's that general rule that the person that's asking me, it's probably the first time they're asking someone like me. So I don't want to just say, oh yeah, I've seen it 1,000 times. Stop being stupid. I don't want to be like that. I want to explain it in as much detail as possible, as politely as possible. So, because it's a challenge. It's often a challenge to their belief, and I don't want it to come off confrontational wise. I want it to be a challenge, but a polite challenge. So it is fun though when I do not know how something was done. I will get a sense of not a psychic sense, but just like a experience sense, like an intuition based on experience, where I know something was created, I know something was hoaxed or faked, but I'm just not sure how it was done. So the process begins because I'll set it up and I'll start trying ways. And so like Eric behind the wall, he's awesome for that. Nicole, one of our editors, also awesome for that, because I'll ask for help. Said like, I need a ghost. I need a prop. I basically need someone to stand in as a prop so I can test ideas. And like, I just did one that was basically a portal. And there was like a bunch of videos, or I think there's a whole segment of like YouTube or TikTok where it's like portals where people go through to another room. And I recently did one, and I wasn't sure exactly how they did it. Like some of the effects I knew, and I kind of knew, so I tried them. Haven't done them before. Let's try it. Boom. First time, great. But then there was one trick I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure, and it took me all day to figure it out. I tried different things, different procedures, tried this, tried that, tried new effects in my editing software that I haven't played with before, and then finally got it. And I think those are like the best videos that I make, because it's fun when I can recognize it and then just do the recreation right away. But it's so much more fun when I don't know what I'm doing. And we kind of learn together. Like you see the process of me learning the trick along the way. And I just have so much fun doing that. And it's fun when I'm editing it, because even when I start editing the videos together, I learn different things because I see it and I'm like, I'm seeing it from a different angle. Because I try to have like a second camera in the background, just filming everything. And I watched that one. I'm like, oh, you know what? I could have done it this way. I think I could have done it that way. So it's fascinating all around. So, I mean, like I said, it's a mix, but I hope that answered your question. And that was a good question. I like that. I love learning. Oh, this is a long one. Oh, the producer jumps ahead. Particles with, oh my goodness. This is a lot of technical stuff, right? Between 0.1 and 1 micrometers can stay afloat for 20 or more days. Larger dust particles, radius between 5 and 10 micrometers, usually fall out of the sky within 24 hours. Even the dust comes back down. Thank you. I appreciate that. Even the dust falls down. I mean, yeah. I get it. I was like, this is a lot of technical stuff. Oh, yeah, to get that answer. All right, good job. Oh shit, Ben Rafford. Did Zach Scooby-Doo Spaggins ever revise or reissue that ghost book you caught him plagiarizing? Yes, he did. So I saw it in the store. I did not buy it because it was in a store. I did not want to, buy it brand new. So I'm hoping that one of the flea markets that I go to will have the second edition copy. But yes, it was reprinted. And then I paged through it and found that there were changes done because it now attributes different authors, all the authors that were on the list. So for those that don't know, a couple years ago, Zach Baggins put out a book called Ghost Hunting for Dummies. Only he did not write it. He put it out. His name is on the front cover as the author, but it was later found that another gentleman, what was his name? Troy Taylor. That's it. Troy Taylor actually wrote the book, but he also did not write it. What he did was recycle his ghost hunting book. It was like a ghost hunting guidebook from like 10 or 15 years prior. And then he basically plagiarized a whole bunch of other authors from books, from blogs, from articles they wrote online, magazines and stuff. He plagiarized all of this, incorporated it into his book, into his already written book, and then republished it under the ghostwriter name of Zach Baggins, and it was out there. And myself and some other people found it, realized that he plagiarized, and I wrote an article about it, and really slammed him on it. And the publisher, I sent the publisher a list. I think I had 40 or 50. I have to look, 40 or 50 names on it of different authors, the websites and or books where chapters, pages, or entire blog posts were, and articles where they were lifted literally. Oh, Kenny, can you repost the link to join the stream? No, not for you. No. I don't want you on here. Oh, that's not it. Tried to just click because I thought it was still in there. Let me see. So basically, where am I? You distracted me, Joe. Bitch. There we go. So basically, I contacted the publisher, sent them the list of all this. They were, I guess, very upset because then there was a statement released by Troy Taylor online, and where he called me like a little blogger. That's funny. A little blogger. And that he had actually wrote the book and he was under contract and this and that. So it was a big stink. I know I really pissed him off that day. But thanks, Ben, for bringing that up. That was awesome. I can't remember, Ben, too, because when we went to his museum and we spoke to the woman in the gift shop. Apparently, Zach's mommy works in the gift shop quite often. So I don't remember what the gift shop person looked like. So we might have met mommy while we were there. All right. So I can't believe I'm going to let Joe on. There you go. Posted the link in there. Don't abuse it, Joe. Hey, side-eye guy's still here. What time is it for you? All right. What else we got? Aaron, if God was real, do you think he'd get sick of people asking for everything? Yeah. Yeah, because everybody wants something. No one's happy with what they got. No one's willing to just work for themselves, to get it themselves. I don't thank any God. I don't thank anyone else. I mean, I thank the people that actually helped me along the way, because they actually helped me along the way. But that's about it. I mean, I'm here for me, and I'm here for all of you. Like I do this job. I'm so passionate about this job because of it brings me joy to solve mysteries, but also the interaction I get from everyone in the audience, in the chat room, and from you guys reading the stuff, the work I do, or watching the work I do and appreciating it. I mean, that's what really gets me going. So I thank you guys. I really try to thank you guys all the time because you guys are what keep me going. You guys are responsible for who I am. I'd just be another person in the vast crowd of the earth if it wasn't for you guys. But now I have this cool little show that we all hang out on Friday night and drink. Oh my God, Joe's in the background. Well, at least he has Dawn. That makes it better. Hold on. There we go.
That was such a warming welcome.
It was to me.
What'd you say?
It was to me a warming welcome.
I know. I mean, honestly, Joe, just move off to the side. Let Dawn in front.
All right. I mean,
Nobody wants to see you. What's up?
Oh, no. Well, I like the numbers that I'm seeing. People watching. That's cool. You deserve it. We definitely need someone like you in the community. It's a huge benefit. That's for damn sure. So I know. Now who's blowing who now?
Oh, please. If that microphone could talk.
So there's a video. I don't know if you watched it or not. And it has to do with an ex-employee who worked at Zach's.
I saw that.
You did.
Yes.
How? Okay. Because we know how people can be when they lose a job.
Right.
Do you think there's some credibility to that?
So there could be. And this is where we have to be careful because this person, we don't have a name. We don't have dates that they work there, which I get. And I'll get into that in a second here. But we don't know who it is. It could be a past employee. It could be someone that just wants to talk shit and wants to have fun, for the next couple days. They want to be like, hey, I'm going to answer all these questions. I'm just going to say that I was an employee. However, I know that there were at least 5 people, and I'm going to keep this vague for certain reasons. There were 5 people that were fired a couple years ago after an article that I had written came out. So I had written about Zach, one of his items in his museum, and several people that worked for him that were tour guides and were like managers or something like that. Either, and this is going to sound silly, but they clicked like on the post or they shared the post of this article. And when I landed in Vegas for one of our conventions, I literally touched down, turned my phone back on, like off of airplane mode, and got all these texts from a person that was related to someone that was fired. And the reason that we were fired is because they liked one of my articles. And I found out later because I met with these people. I actually met in person with them. And they said that, yeah, they all received a phone call from Zach, from his lawyer, saying, hey, we noticed on social media that you shared this post and or liked this post. And they named the article, which I was like, yeah. But they named it, and all of them said, well, yeah, because it had like good research. It wasn't necessarily like going after him, but it was a good history about a certain object. And all of them claim that from then on, Zach said, well, we can't have that. You can't work for me and like this person or promote anything that he does or promote anything that goes against us. So you're terminated. They weren't allowed on premises for like a certain amount of time. And when I met with them, one of the things that came up was if they signed an NDA, and they all had. So there was a time limit on that. I couldn't publish anything. And I felt bad because they had a good story. They were kind of angry about it. Several of them were blindsided by this. This was their only form of income. So they were kind of like just cut off. And I really felt bad, but I couldn't do anything because, and I explained it to them, because they signed that NDA, they would get into more trouble than just losing a job. So I didn't want to pursue that. So, when I read through the comments, and I watched the video, I read through all the comments and the responses by the anonymous person. It kind of sounds like what I heard before, because I got a lot of like behind the scenes information from these ex-employees, and it really does line up with what they were telling me. But again, I'm not jumping on this because I don't know. I did reach out. I did put it out there and said, like I posted on that Reddit forum under that heading and just said, hey, this is my name. I met with a few people before. If this is you, please reach out to me. And I'll leave it like that. If they want to reach out, they can get me through email. That way, nobody knows they contacted me. And I'll keep their identity secret too. If they want to, that's fine. As long as they're out of the limitations or restrictions of that NDA, because I don't want them to get in trouble. And then knowing that they have an NDA, I can get in trouble too. So I don't want to do that. But it's very interesting.
Now, Wendy had actually brought this up, and I'm wondering if it's the same story that I'm thinking of. Wendy's awesome, by the way. A true haunting or true haunting. Was that any? There was an article or something. Wendy, I can't go back. It's too far up. But there was this book by Edwin Becker. Would that be the story that?
Oh, hold on. I know. Yes, I know what you're talking about. A true haunting.
Edwin Becker, Marcia Becker.
Yes.
I have both those books.
So I have both of them too. And
Campbell
if
Street
anyone
doesn't seem to exist.
What?
I could not find Campbell Street. I searched for Campbell Street.
We'll talk offline.
Yeah,
we'll talk offline. I did find it. I know where the house is. I mean, it's real.
Right. I, for some reason, was unable to find it unless he changed something to kind of throw people off. I know my answer.
There's a lot of things that were changed, but don't worry. I took a deep dive into that. And if anyone is interested, if you pick up the latest issue of Skeptical Inquirer magazine, JD Sword and I wrote an article about that. Oh, there you go, Wendy. Yeah, we just published an article about that. That has actually been in the queue for probably a year or more. Because we heard rumors that it was going to be a movie. Yeah, and it kept getting delayed. And now I don't know the fate of that movie, but we wanted to put it out.
They went with The Conjuring instead.
Inside information. Okay, it was after The Conjuring.
You know what? You're right. It was afterwards.
Yeah,
a little bit of inside information there. They wanted to make Marcia a psychic in the movie. They wanted to stray way far away from that book. But I want to look into that more, because I found it interesting from a paranormal point of view. I found that interesting. Some of the things that were in there. I'm not saying that it's true or anything like that.
Right.
I just found some of it interesting. It's almost it seemed like they probably knew a little more than what they were leading into in the book.
So I'm gonna go. Oh, here's the article right there. So from what I remember, because it's been a while. Again, it's been in the queue for a while. So and reading both books like back to back and making a lot of notes, and then when I started diving into it. There you go. Yeah. So I have that. I have the second one. Somebody was actually nice enough to send me the second one because I didn't have that.
I got it signed by both of them before they got a divorce.
Oh, well, Ed died. Ed died a couple years ago.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I haven't. Yeah. He was in cahoots with a name that we shall not speak of.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I distanced myself from him.
Yeah. The more I read about it, the more I looked into it. There were a lot of things that were embellished. Once I found some records. Did you find it interesting, Joe? Just one more time to make sure. I don't know what that means.
I think what I had said earlier about.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so I did find that after finding some records, I did find some things were embellished heavily. And I also have, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, the televised exorcism, which was a joke. It was kind of silly. But yeah, I really didn't buy into it. And then the second book, there's a lot of contradictions.
That was Marcia's side of the story.
Yeah.
The second book. I have that one as well.
Right. And then I reached out. I tried to reach out to Marcia, but she wouldn't respond. But I reached out to the current owner. I did talk to the current owner.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Who, I mean, I think it's in the article, wants nothing to do with this. He flat out said, I mean, he was hostile in the beginning, because he thought I was like Hollywood, trying to get in and trying to get another story or trying to get new information. Once I explained who I was and what I was trying to do, he was much more friendly. And he said, as long as he's owned it, nothing has ever happened. Nothing, whatever. His family lives there. That's why he doesn't want any attention. And I mean, I explained to him like that. This is why I'm investigating this, because you're going to get attention. You know, if this becomes a movie, guess what? You're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to find it. I found it. And if I found it, there's going to be other people that will find it. So I just wanted to prepare him and let him know, give him a heads up. That's all, you know? And, but yeah, he said nothing to report. Nothing has ever, even the slightest thing has happened. And I mean, some of the stuff is just, it's hearsay. Everything is hearsay, honestly. Right. There is no physical evidence whatsoever. But it's an interesting story. I mean, it is the first televised exorcism, even though it's not a, you know, like a church.
It was, yeah. I thought that it was a little ridiculous the way they went about it, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was more like the main guy was like a psychic or medium or something that was claimed to have made some predictions, but I mean, it really wasn't any big deal. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it was interesting just to watch the footage. And I mean, some of the things that they pointed out. And, I mean, again, we found, again, I dug into the history. I suggest, please go pick up this issue because it's all in there. Yes, discrepancies, the family, apparently like people that died in the house that didn't die in the house and all this stuff.
Interesting.
Like it's a lot. Yeah.
That's a thing. I mean, you know, come across that in the paranormal. The owners of locations, not all, I can't say all, but you know, they say these, hey, so and so was here and they died here, and then no, they died halfway across the world, or you know, they moved and died, you know, elsewhere.
Right. And it's funny. I mean, it goes back the Conjuring house. Exactly. I mean, the history of that. Like all the people that was originally said to have died in the house didn't. No. Like even Jervis. Like, well, it's different spellings. Different spellings depending on what newspaper you said. But it's Jervis Smith. Even he died in a shed that was on the property. But when you read the obituary, it says along the state line. So.
Yeah, they're they're really close to the state line. So I'm guessing that's why they said like near the state line.
Right. But it wasn't in the house. It was in this shed that no longer exists.
Right. Well, you know, I got the thing from you, and I went in and I checked, and I'm like, okay, this Arnold is not related to these Arnolds, and there's some truth to something, but it didn't happen there. And then the story was twisted. The whole story about the a child drinking that horse medication or whatever it was, and died in the house. Well, it came from the guy who decided to self-delete by drinking the horse, whatever the hell it's called,
horse limited.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe that's where that story stemmed from, because I kept hearing that there was a child that died in the house drinking that stuff. Just thought it was like a candy or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm confused about, because I know like the story of John Arnold where he drank the horse limited, or it was Paris Green. There was two different versions of the story. So the Paris Green was like a dye, a special dye that they used for fabric. And that was originally the story. And then it changed when the obituary came out, because then it was like, oh shit, it actually says what killed him or what he drank. But the part that confuses me is the child part. Like I haven't heard that version of the story where it was a child.
That version, I don't know where it came from, honestly. Like how it started, but we had a few people say, "Hey, there was a child that died in the house, drinking like that horse
Force
medication."
limit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What?" And I kept looking, I couldn't find anything on it. I'm like,
Right.
"There's nothing here on that." Well, I think what happened was the game of telephone happened, and that guy did himself in, and somehow that story got mixed up somehow as it being a child who died in that house. So the
Okay.
root of the child dying in that house, I believe, came from the guy who drank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, John Arnold is the one that actually died
Yeah,
from
John
doing
Arnold.
it. Yeah.
There's too many freaking Arnolds. Oh my. Oh,
Uh,
if you see
Yeah.
that family tree, have fun.
Dude, I spent 9 months working on that, like going through all the records, finding everything, and even traveling up there to go through the records up in the library and record. That's where I found the book, the Black Book, because they would not make me a copy, no matter how much I offered them. They just said no.
And then
So-
there was that story that we kept being told too, that there was a woman who had her throat slashed.
Prudence Arnold.
Prudence,
Yeah.
right. The story was that it happened in the house. Now, now seeing that and that the book and tracing things
Right.
back, again, wrong family, not the Conjuring house.
Right. Not even the town. I mean, that was in Uxbridge.
Right.
So that was miles and miles away. That was a different town that happened in.
Right.
And it's a shame. It's really a shame because that was a horrible. I mean, most of the deaths were pretty horrible, but that was horrible because that was a very young girl that was attacked by a douchebag that wanted her to marry him. And when she said no, I mean, I think she was only 12.
I believe so. There's two different versions to that story that I have heard. One was this man wanted to marry her, she rejected him, and he did what he did. Another story was she was protecting her sisters. A guy went in there to do something terrible to one of the sisters, and Prudence stepped in, and she's the one who.
So there was a good. So the story that I got was from not only the inquest papers, but the local newspapers, and the first one is what really got me. Let's see, Bathsheba. I'm looking at the article now because I have to. Prudence Arnold. Let's see. A horrible event was well documented at the time and became known as the Uxbridge tragedy. Let's see. Prudence Arnold was the orphan child of Eber and Charlotte. Her father died. Let's see. When Prudence Arnold was 11, William E. Knowlton, who was 22 at the time, followed her up to the second floor of her home and cut her throat with a straight razor, nearly decapitating her. A jury of inquest was held on January 31st, 1849, in which it was discovered that Knowlton killed her out of love and jealousy when she refused to marry him, as she had allegedly promised for 4 months prior. And I believe that was in the newspaper article that's attached to it. But yeah, that's the story that I heard. That's the story that I found. Basically, like, I guess when she was a little bit younger, she had made a promise, like, and this is hearsay, that she would marry him when she got older. And this 22-year-old, I think, was a little intoxicated and decided that he wanted to do it now. And then when she refused, he lost his shit and he killed her, which is awful. I mean, it's awful. But again, it didn't happen in the house.
Right.
You know, it happened miles away in a different town. And I mean, I really blame the Perrin family for all of this because they're the ones that, I mean, I don't know how much the mother actually researched and put out because her notebook, her alleged notebook, never resurfaced. It's gone. But
she
then
claims Lorraine
yeah.
had it, and
that Lorraine took it, wanted the notes, and she gave it up, and with the promise of returning it, but it was never returned. But that story is coming from Andrea, so I don't know if it's true or not, because I mean, everything in that first book of Andrea's is just pure bullshit. So I can't trust it at all. And again, like everything in that first book that Andrea put out, like that's all allegedly based on her mother's research, but her mother could not have researched this because there are no fucking records. There's just nothing. Like it's completely made up. So
I mean, we're lucky. Like I'm lucky if I could find a death certificate.
Yeah, I mean, I have all the obituaries for everyone, and that's it. I mean, that's as far as you're going to go. I mean, you're not going to find, for the most part, you're not going to find death certificates because they just didn't have them. That wasn't standard procedure at the time in that area. So you're not going to find them, which sucks, but it is what it is.
Right.
We have to keep going. But
all right.
Yes, we are going on hour 3. Hopefully Tim is okay with it.
Well, we're going to jump off here. Give somebody else a turn or something.
Okay. All right. Thank you for stopping by. All Dawn, right. Next time, please let Joe have some time to talk.
I know.
All right?
I will. I'll make sure he gets to talk.
Okay. Because you talk.
Hey, she can jump in anytime she wants.
I had nothing to share, so.
That's all right. It was good seeing you, though. It was good seeing you.
Everybody can just see me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. Take it easy.
Bye.
All right. Awesome. That was good. I like when people stop in. That's nice. It's like stop by the bar. Have a drink with me, almost in person. All right. Bite your tongue. The Conjuring was a documentary. Bullshit. Boo. All right. Bruce, have you seen the new movie, Late Night with the Devil? I think you would get a kick out of it. Have I seen that? No, I don't think so. Late Night with the Devil. Let me see. Late Night with the... Oh, it comes up already. 2023 horror comedy. Late Night with the Devil. Overview. What is this? Live televised broadcast in 1977. Goes horribly wrong. Unleashing evil into the nation's living. Oh. Sounds like it's almost like... Just from that, it almost sounds like a redo or what's the word I'm looking for? Remake of Ghostwatch, which is awesome. If you've never seen Ghostwatch, you need to see it. It's really awesome. I'll put that on my list. Let's see. Late Night with the Devil. All right. Well, maybe I'll watch that tonight. Because when I get home, I'm always amped up. When I go home, I can never go to sleep. I walk home and then I'm up at the couch watching TV. I gotta watch videos. Then I watch Side Eye Guy or The Shape or Beardo or something like that because I want to watch people get pissed off at other people. Damn it, Bob! Speaking of movies, when are you doing a movie night? Ooh, I don't know. I have to get together with Tim and Dave and see when we can do a movie night. And because we did that before. We did that with what was that? Stone Tape. We did that. We did it with that. That was fun. The Stone Tape Theory. That was actually fun. And I have a whole bunch. I think we should do the what is that? Ghost Ship? The one where they use the image of the Titanic on the cover. Ghost Ship. We should watch that. What do you think? All right, Tim. We're gonna have to plan that in the next week or so. I think I have to do my 3TS topic. I have to come up with a topic because that's coming up in a week or two. All right, moving on. We're getting there. We're in hour 3. What? Oh my goodness. And Ghostwatch. We haven't watched Ghostwatch? We did watch Ghostwatch. We did. Because that's why, I got the DVD. I got the shirt too. I think we watched it. All right. Moving on. Jeff AF, what's up? So what is the latest tech that paranormal teams or groups are misusing? Oh my goodness. What is the latest tech? Let's see. I don't know. I'm looking around because I'm supposed to be doing a video for Beardo. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you this, but I'm supposed to be doing one on like why am I glitching? You guys see that? I was glitching there. Hopefully it goes away. Let's see. Gadgets. What kind of gadgets are people using? I haven't seen anything really different. It's kind of like all the same shit. That's just like repackaged. They put it in another 3D printed case and Ghost Tube VR goggles. Ooh. Oh wait, who did I see doing that? Was that I think Mythos. Mythos was using them. I think I saw that. What is that about? Is that like the actual like I don't know what that is. What is that? Let's see. Is there something, let's say Ghost in the Machine causing glitches? That was good. Ghost Tube VR goggles. Ghost, let's see, Tube, well, not Tube, Tube VR Googles. Let's see, Lens virtual reality headset. Oh my God. Is this real? What is this? That's not what I'm looking for. Ghost Tube. Wait, yeah. Ghost Tube lens brand. Ghost Tube. What's it do? Where's the description? Tell me what it does. Help. No. Product. There's no description. It's on Amazon, but there's no description whatsoever. That's some bullshit. What is it? Ghost Tube lens. Oh, let's see from Ghost Tube itself. Ghost Tube lens is the world's first virtual reality headset for paranormal investigators. Ghost Tube lens is designed to be used. Oh, you know what? I'll share this so you guys can see and share in my misery. Because I have to look this shit up. Let's say Ghost Tube app. Ghost Tube lens is designed to be used with compatible Ghost Tube apps to give you an immersive experience and open a range of new investigative or investigation techniques. It can also be used in sensory deprivation like paranormal experiments such as the Estes method to help focus your mind while listening to other devices. This purchase also includes a complimentary 12-month subscription to Ghost Tube Seer. Ooh, how much is it? $60. Shit. I already have a pair. I have a pair of VR goggles for my phone. And that looks like it's exactly what it does. Yeah, I agree, Bruce. All fake apps. Ghost Tube, I've played with that before. And there's nothing there to say that it would do anything other than any of the other bullshit apps. Sensory deprivation. Replace the old blindfold while performing your Estes or Ghost Tube Seer sessions. Instead of using a blindfold, use visual stimuli to help you focus during your experiments. Yeah, I think there's more to it than that. Digital scrying and white noise. Gaze at white noise or other visual stimuli while trying to test paranormal communication theories. It's not a fucking theory. Oh, that's such a pet peeve with me. It's not a fucking theory. Some theorize. No, they don't. They hypothesize that white noise can conduct paranormal experience. You see how much this pisses me off? Who asked this question? The Gansfeld experiment. Explore the mystery surrounding one. No, you won't. No, you won't. You're not going to do this. Designed for iPhone, Android devices with diagonal screen of 7 inches or less. Phones require accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer in order to use. Okay, so my initial impression, unless I actually get to use it, which I don't think I will, because it's hour 3, Kenny Unfiltered. Fuck yeah, that's when we really start dropping the F-bombs. That's why I don't have any advertisers, because they won't advertise on my platform. Yeah, my initial impression is this is crap. This is a waste of money. You want to spend $60? Buy a freaking book. Buy a science book. Learn how to actually do science experiments. learn about controls and parameters, learn about dependent and independent variables, learn about all this stuff instead of buying a pair of goggles, which you might already have. I mean, I have a pair at home. I bought them a while ago. But what's and the Estes method, like that's such a crap method. Honestly, if you're using it, we went over this. I was going over this with Side-Eye Guy and Dawson when we were at the Bel Air house. And it's just, to me, it's like the most ridiculous method that people could come up with. You have one person that's listening to headphones that is trying desperately to make out some kind of words from a constantly quickly cycling rotation of radio frequencies that are coming through, and they're trying like their damnness to figure out what's being said, and they're just like spitting out words, while you have a separate group of people that are asking questions, and it's two completely separate tracks that are not influencing each other. There is no fucking interaction, and yet believers in this stuff say, oh yeah, there is interaction. And then you get like the person with the headphones says fire, and the ghost hunters that are on the outside are going, oh, was there a fire here? Was there a fire? And then the person with the headphones goes microphone, and the people that are ghost hunters are going, oh, did you try to call out on a microphone when there was a fire? Like, you're fabricating a fucking narrative in real time. Oh my God. This is like the ultimate anomaly hunting. You're not investigating by using this method. You are making shit up to fit. You're fitting the square paranormal peg in a round fucking skeptical hole. Woosa. Oh. This is better than listening to a spirit box. I think both should be thrown out. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It's just the essence is not. I don't think it's better than listening to a spirit box. It just means that one person gets to suffer while the other people laugh at them. That's how I see it. But I get it. I get what you're saying. I'm not making fun of you, Ian. I mean, it's just I can't stand it. I had to sit through that. Dawson made me put them headphones on, and I freaking hated it. I was so angry the entire time I had it on, because it's just a constant flow of just nonsense and garbage coming through your head at a high volume. And it was just like, what the hell? What the hell? And even when I did recognize, because that's what happened, I recognized a lot of the words that were coming through, either through songs or commercials. I was recognizing them. And if I just spit out the word, then this whole process that I just ranted about would happen. But if I didn't, but instead I actually said, like, I hear fire and it's Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. I recognize the song. I recognize the tone, the voice. This is the song. This is a radio frequency. That's it. So, I mean, shit, you want to use it? Fine. But I suggest put that radio in a Faraday box, like a good one. And forget the headphones. All you're doing is just making one person responsible for interpreting what they hear. And that means all their biases, their interpretations, their misinterpretations are the ones that are being fed out to the rest of the group. So it's really no different than everyone else hearing it and separating them and saying, what did you hear? I mean, that's really it. By this method, you're just making everyone hear one person's perspective. Got me angry. That got me angry. I need to decompress. I need more rum. Hey, Dawson's in here. Wait. Okay, you're right. Wait, before I get to this question, I gotta. Oh, wait. Sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. I was overriding. You are correct, Dawson. He wants to point out that it was not idea to put me. That was Joe's idea. So yes, you were correct. I just like blaming you. That's all. But yeah, it was Joe's idea to put me under there. Well, if you don't experience it, then you won't be able to say anything about it. Hate Joe. Breathe, Kenny. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. My hands are off the mouse. You're in control again. Ian, with all the talk of demons in the paranormal world, how do you feel about the likes of Crowley? Aleister Crowley, allegedly raising demons using the lesser key of Solomon. I think I don't really think anything of it. I think it's like just an act. It's just something to get attention, something to. It's a performance. I don't think there's anything to it. I mean, people have been saying that they were like they do rituals and do this and do that to raise the dead or raise demons or summon demons or possess others or put bad. People claim magic throughout human history. I think it just falls into that category. So yeah, I don't think anything of it. I think it's just something to grab attention. I'm looking at the comments. Dawson says, but it was on AM instead of FM, so you hearing songs is weird because they typically don't use AM for that. It depends on where you are. Because I used to listen to AM. I mean, that was a weird thing. I used to listen to AM when I was younger because it had like oldies on it. And yeah, I know there's an old joke coming from you, but basically, yeah, I was listening to like 50s and 60s and music when I was younger on AM stations. And I do believe that at night, AM stations come in clearer. I'm not sure. That might be just hearsay. I'm not sure. Entity 7, yes, it was my idea, but no one can say you have not done it, so you don't know. That's right, Joe. That's right. I mean, it was sound advice. I agree with you. That's why I did it. I still blame you now, except when I want to blame Dawson. Just to blame Dawson. And I hope you're laughing, Dawson. I'm just fucking with you. All right. We're getting there. We're actually down to a couple questions now. That's good. Boomer D. That's like a DJ name. You're not too far from Hinsdale, right? Have you ever checked that out? Yes, I have. I have been there. I think I've been there 3 times. And I know Daniel, who runs it. Daniel lives only a few minutes from me here in Buffalo. So really nice guy, super nice guy. We don't agree on everything, but I mean, that's cool. I mean, I don't mind that, but he is really nice and professional when it comes to me going there. He let me there once. The first time I was there, I did a video on it. If you go onto the Center for Inquiry YouTube channel and look up Ghosts in the Machine, one of my videos is my visit there. And I actually caught someone cheating at table tipping. Like I caught them literally red-handed, not literally red, but I caught their hands actually moving the table. And I also pointed out some things in the video about like things they could improve at the house because there were like things where holes in the wall or holes in the foundation where animals could get through, and Daniel fixed them. He actually fixed them. I called him beforehand, before I published the video. He fixed them. So really, really nice guy. I really like Daniel. And like he lent me his DR60 so I could do a whole video on that and test it and get samples and stuff. So I mean that thing, even though it's a piece of crap, it's still going for like $1,000 or so on eBay. So I mean, for him to just say, yeah, come on and get it, come on over and get it. You can borrow it for a couple days. Like really, really nice. So I appreciate that. So yeah, I've been there and I'll happily go again if the offer comes through. Because if anything, I got a really good night's sleep. Very quiet, no ghosts, no demons, no nothing, just very quiet. Because I think the first time I was there were 4 or 5 other people that stayed overnight. I mean, they had a big event, so there was like, I want to say 25 people in there at one time, which is a lot. That was packed because it's not a big place. Not at all. The second time I went, I went with Ben Radford, my editor. So I rented the place just for us. And we got there. We had the entire place to ourselves. We spent most of the night sitting at the kitchen table, actually, like just doing work for here. The third time I was there, I was there with Melanie Tresick King and her husband Anthony. We went there and we filmed an episode of her video series. So we actually went through and just stayed overnight, and like absolutely nothing. Very good night's sleep. But that's it. So good question. Good question. Like that. Look at us. Hour 3. Kate, what is the number one thing that you think bad investigators, ghost hunters do? What is the number one thing? Accept things at face value. That's the first thing that came to mind. Accepting things without fact checking, without any kind of doubt, without any kind of skepticism, just accepting and then moving on and treating an investigation catered to that belief. I think that's really, really bad. That makes you a poor investigator because you're not checking the facts. I think thing that you think bad investigators, ghost hunters do. When people go into a private residence and tell the owner that they have demonic activity or evil activity, I think that is a very, very bad thing to do. I think you're doing more harm. I think you're going out of your wheelhouse. I think you're going beyond your qualifications, and you're causing real damage, real harm to that family. And I think ghost hunters that do that and others just need to pony up. You need to understand there's a responsibility when you go in. When you go in there with your matching t-shirts or polo shirts and your cases and cases and cases of equipment that, to be honest, you most don't know how to use or interpret the results or data correctly from, you look like an authority, and then you pretend to be an authority when you really don't know what you're doing, and you can cause damage that way. Fitting everything into their own narrative. Yes, I agree. I think that's one of the worst things that you can do. We've seen the damage. We've seen it, Kenny, all of it. I mean, we've seen the damage and the harm it can do. I've seen it firsthand where anxiety goes high through the roof. People have sold their homes because they can no longer stay in there because of the fear that is caused by ghost hunters. That people they won't feel comfortable in their home. They haven't slept in their own bedroom in over a year because, a psychic has come to their home and told them that they had a ghost and it was in their bedroom. A lot of these things aren't necessary. And it's a shame because some of these people, not all of them, but some of them are doing it for their YouTube channel. They're doing it for clicks and likes and subscribers, and they're not doing it for the fucking people. And I think that's really terrible. If you claim to be an investigator, then fucking investigate. Don't do your ghost hunting. Don't do your thrill seeking. Don't do your jump scares, just so you can get drama for a video or your live stream. If you're at a location, talk to the people, try to solve that mystery and bring peace of mind instead of making it worse. So again, it's not everyone. It's not everyone, but there's a lot. There's more than there should be that do this kind of thing. And it really pisses me off because it's exploiting and taking advantage of people. I just don't like it. So I hope that answered your question. Brought me down. I got all serious. We got serious. All right. What do we got here, Tim? Boomer, have you debunked the Dandy House in Hinsdale? So that's where I was just talking about that. That's the Hinsdale house that I've been to. I have not had any activity there. I've not witnessed anything. I haven't seen anything that would cause it. I mean, I've actually uncovered a few things like the Wi-Fi there is horrendous for EMF. I was picking it up. If you've ever been there, it's a very small house, but I was picking it up from like 20 to 30 feet away and tracking it right back to the Wi-Fi router. So really horrible. I also found sound travels through the hole. There's a hole in the ceiling from the living room going up to the main bedroom. There's a like a square hole. I don't know if it was for ventilation or what, but sound travels through that and it becomes a dead it's a dead sound, meaning that the echo is removed. It's a really weird thing. You have to experience it. It's when you talk from one room to the other and they hear you, there is no echo and it sounds flat. It really sounds flat. And I think I actually go into this in the video that I did on the Hinsdale house, because I think I reached out to Pasquale Romero from the Strange Frequencies podcast. No, not Strange Frequencies. I messed that up. Squaring the Strange podcast. He's one of the hosts on there, and he's also a musician and was in the industry, so he had a lot of knowledge on that. So I tapped him for, hey, tell me about this, and he was able to explain it really well to me. So there was plenty of places that animals could get in. There were constantly people showing up. I mean, even when I was there just waiting for Ben, and it was just me and Ben, there were 2 cars that came down the road that were looking to stop by and hang out for a little bit until I told them, fuck off. This is mine. I rented this for the night. This is mine. Go away. But yeah, and then even behind the house, up the hill, it looks like all woods, but it's not. Like, not far up the hill, there's other houses and there's other people. So lots of noises that travel. So do I think it's haunted? No, I do not. I think it's just a old house in the middle of nowhere. That's it. But like I said, I'll gladly go back. So good question. All right, what else we got? Wisdom. How long do you think a garbage bag can stay in the air after a tornado takes it? What the hell? Are you high? I would say after a tornado takes it up, so it's still an active tornado. I would say 47 minutes. That's my answer. Next. No, really, that's my answer. That's what I'm going to go with. Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican. Did you answer the question if I can say that? I want to make sure. I don't want to be like, get people pissed at me because I'm saying Puerto Rican. Kenny, any thoughts on the Hudson Valley UFO sightings of the 80s and 90s? Hudson Valley. I mean, I'm not going to have a initial. I'm typing it. I'm typing initial as I'm saying it. I'm not going to have an initial opinion because I have to look it up and see if I remember this. Hudson Valley UFO sightings. 1984, Hudson Valley UFO sightings, a ring of light. Called the Westchester Boomerang. UFO sightings were stretched throughout 83 and 84 in New York and Western Connecticut. Pilots flew Cessna 152s in tight formation with the bright lights that could change colors. State police reported that pilots expressed amusement at the confusion caused by their hoax. Subsequent, oh my God, I can't say that word. Subsequent news stories, books, and other publicity helped make the sighting significant in local history and ufology lore. So it looks like identification. State police officer of Troop K followed the lights to a small Stormville airport in Dutchess County and reported back to Sergeant Kenneth V. Spiro. Quote, it was a group of light planes. They fly in formation. The undersides and under the wings are painted black so they can't be seen from the ground. The planes are rigged with bright lights that they can turn from one color to another. It's the lights that give the shape of the UFO, unquote. According to the police officer who spoke to the couple of pilots, they're getting a big kick out of this. There's no violation of the law here. So it looks like It looks like it was a hoax. All good. I've been called far worse. Use of plenty. All right. I'm just making sure, I don't, you know where I'm getting at. So just wanted to make sure. I appreciate the confirmation. That makes me feel a lot better. So yeah, it looks like this was a hoax. And that's just going, all fairness, my source right here is the Wikipedia page for this event. So I might look into it a little bit more. Let me write this down. Hudson Valley, 1984, Hudson Valley UFOs. See if I can find a little bit more on the pilots here, because that'll be interesting to look into that story. I love reading that kind of stuff. That's stuff like I do like when I'm bored, which is rare, but like when I'm sitting at home just watching TV and I'm like, I'm bored. I got to do something. I can't watch TV. I got to do something. I got to get up and do something. And then I usually go like build something or break something. I'd rather build something because my wife gets upset when I break shit. All right. Any more questions? I know we're almost down there. We're almost done. Bruce. They call me Bruce. Question, Kenny, any good places in Buffalo to investigate and check out? Myself and one of my team members wanted to go out there and try someplace new. So to be honest, I don't know. I really don't know, because since I've got here, like I've been here what is it? It's April. So I've been here about a year and a half now, living up here, and all of my weekends have really been booked. Like I've been either working here or traveling to other places, attending like overnights and stuff like that. So I really haven't been able to focus anywhere around here. I guess there was one cemetery I went to that was kind of cool, but it's out there in like in the middle of nowhere, and it's a small it's not private cemetery, but it's a small cemetery, and the road is like heavily monitored by the people that live along it. So if you're there after hours or at dark, after dark, they call the cops on you. So I wouldn't recommend that. That's why I'm not going to tell you the name. I don't know. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know any of the places. There's supposed to be a theater. The theater that I went to see Nick Groff's show here in Buffalo. Theater in Buffalo. How do you spell Buffalo? With an O, not with a U. What are you doing? Yeah, there is a U there. Buffalo, New York. Let's see. Shays Performing Arts Center. No. Allendale Theater. Is that it? No, that's not it. The Rapids Theater. That's it. So the Rapids Theater, that's where I went to. That is located in Niagara Falls. So it's only like about 15 minutes from here, because Niagara Falls is about 20 minutes. Like the actual falls is about 20 minutes away. So it's on Main Street in Niagara Falls. If you want to go there, you can contact them. I reached out to them after I visited, but I haven't heard back from them. So I don't know if that's a place that would be open to it. But if they do, I'm looking on the website here. Let's share this, because you might be interested in what this website says. All right. So it does say up here above the sign, it says Haunted History Trail of New York. Request our 2024 guide. Let's see. Haunted ghost hunts, guided tours, haunted inns, and more. Playing your thing. So it's part of that. But that's the Rapids Theater. Opportunities for visitors. Oh, the haunting. The Rapids Theater is one of the Western New York's most haunted locations. Like, who doesn't say that? Honestly, what's the criteria to say the most haunted? I want to know. Hour 3, anger. Some of the paranormal activity known to be happening are voices being heard, doors opening and closing, footsteps being heard, a mysterious whistling with keys jingling, and even sightings of full-blown apparitions. What does full-blown mean? Like, that's an odd term, like full-blown. I'm gonna have to look that up. Originally opened in 1921, the Rapids Theater is one of the most historical buildings remaining in the great city of Niagara Falls. With Team Paranormal Crossroad Live's vast knowledge. Paranormal Crossroad Live. Vast knowledge of the supernatural and extensive cabinet full of the most current paranormal technical equipment, our public ghost hunts are on a scale of their own. Team PCL even does live internet broadcasts of some of the investigations. They do investigations. Contact. Ghost hunts. Who wants to go on a ghost hunt? Let's go. I think this might be something that, $150. Opportunities for visitors. $150 per person. All right. So I'm not doing that. I'm not spending $150 to go in for 10 to 14 people. And it's less the more people. So the more people you have, the more people show up, the more distractions and contamination, but the less you pay. But $150 per person. Let's see. Days, times. Ghost hunts, groups of 10 to 50 people. Oh my God, 50 freaking people. I can't imagine. And group investigations welcome by available appointment. Occasional pop-up. I can't talk. I cannot talk. Days, times of operation, 7 p.m. start time. We don't put an end time on investigations because sometimes there is just so much activity that nobody wants to leave. Investigations go until at least midnight or until every group has been able to investigate each section. So that's 5 hours that you get for $150. But still, there's going to be 10 to 15 people or 10 to 14. So you're going to have 9 to 13 other people there with you if it's not just your group. But still, that's $150. Oh my God. That's like $1,500 minimum. That's a lot. That's a lot. You still going? No. No, I'm not paying that much. At least midnight. I'm just walking. I'm just waking up at midnight. I mean, that's when I'm getting started. Like midnight. Shit. I mean, that's a little too much for me. I if I wanted to, I could, but it's just I don't see the point. I understand that the money goes to the theater, and they can charge what they want. That's cool. Like the Free Society, free. What is that? I don't even know what the word is. It's hour 3. I'm having brain farts. Suddenly I think my house is haunted. I should start offering tours. I know, right? Like $150 per person. And what's that mean? Like you follow around a team. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm assuming that you follow this team. They probably give you a tour. That you go around, you see all the rooms. They tell you all the stories. Free market. Thank you, side-eye guy. They tell you all the stories, so you're primed on what to expect. And then you probably get to go off on your own. Like, do whatever you want. Follow the group that's there, or you can go do your own thing. Because it does say they want to make sure everyone goes to each section. So, wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, you're right, Kat. I think my house is haunted. My basement's haunted. My basement is totally haunted. I mean, I even have haunted items and cursed items in my basement. So, I mean, obviously it's haunted. I'm going to charge $50 a person. What do you think? Any takers? Come on over. All right. Let's try to, we're getting there. We're 2 hours and 40 minutes. Let's see if we can wrap some of it. I can't believe there's so many people still watching. Wendy, why? I want to do that. I want to do that every time. Wendy, why? Kenny, where was your eclipse event? Buffalo. Yes. It was here in Buffalo, New York. It was a good event, except for the clouds. But I think I mentioned this before. It actually made it better with the clouds. You wouldn't normally think that, but and it would have been nice to have been able to record everything, like to get a really good, clear picture of it. But we had about 120, 150 people, somewhere around there, all here. They were here early. We had a lecture. We had workshops. Eric behind the wall taught people how to do how to make pinhole cameras. We also did cyanotype images, which I think, where is it? I do have an example. Ah, here it is. So I don't think I showed this before, but basically, can you see that? Let's see, backwards. So we took images, and this image, let me put a piece of paper up so you can actually see this. So it's a transparency, and this was an image that I made. I took a picture of the center. That's the front entrance of our center. I put the name and date and city, and then put in an eclipse image that I had from the previous one from NASA. Put it in there, and then just put total eclipse. So we printed out these, and we had special coated paper with chemicals that would make a cyanotype image, which is this. So basically, you put this over top of it in the dark room, and then we brought it out. We used a UV light or sunlight. You brought it out in the sun for about 5 minutes, and then you brought it inside. You still had a kind of blank image. It kind of still looked, it looked about like this color. And then you ran it underneath water. You turned the faucet on, you ran it underneath, and the image appeared. Within seconds, it was there. So it was really, really cool. So we did that. We had a lunch. We had a big lunch. We had you'll be back before you get to the next question, Tim. Wait. Is he leaving? I didn't even notice. All right. I'm not going to tell you what he said. So yeah, we had a good time. We actually really did have a good time. We did have a lunch. Then for dinner, we had burgers and dogs that they grilled up on the patio. We have a patio out here. We had games outside in the parking lot. We had a whole bunch of stuff just all around it. We had crafts for kids, excuse me, crayons and coloring paper, and they made necklaces and bracelets and jewelry. It was a really good event overall. So, and then the clouds were rolling in, and we got little peaks of the eclipse, which was the fun part, because I think normally if we had a clear day, it would have been like, all right, it's going to start, because it took a long time. We would have looked up, yeah, it's there. Okay, cool. Took a picture, maybe did some other stuff, looked up a little bit later. Yeah, it's there. It's a little more, take another picture. But because it was so cloudy and we were getting these little breaks, like really tiny breaks, everyone started cheering. You would hear someone go, there it is. And everybody would cheer and, take pictures, but everyone was happy. And then it would die down. And then a minute or two later, or a few minutes later, there it is. And people would, yay, yay. And what really helped with that was that, like, across the parking lot, and we have a small field, and across that, it's college housing. So we have University of Buffalo that's right over here. So a lot of the dorms are over here. And we could hear all the college kids screaming and yelling every time there was a break in the clouds. So it got everyone pumped. So it was really, really cool. I'm actually happy the way it turned out. Even though I got like 3 seconds to see the total eclipse because it broke through just enough that I could see it. And I mean, that was enough. I was happy. And just seeing like everything get dark, like so quick, it just boom, dark. And then it was really eerie. And then a few minutes later, like 3 minutes later, it got light. Like you saw it. It was like one of the quickest sunrises kind of thing ever. Cause it just all of a sudden you saw the shadow come over you. And it was daylight again. I was like, holy shit, that was really cool. I didn't think it would be as exciting as it was, but it was. All right, cool. Let's see. Wisdom. Can you talk about Dawson for a while? I need to go on a beer run and don't want to miss anything important. Dawson is a nice kid. I like him. I really do. We have had conversations because I got to spend, well, I don't want to say, it's going to sound weird. I got to spend the night with him at the Bel Air house. We were on a live together. I think Side Eye Guy did a live where we were both on. And I've talked to him. We've gone back and forth a little bit over texting. And I think he's a great kid. I think he's curious, which is good. It's really good. It's good to be curious because you ask questions. And he's also not afraid to not agree or challenge, something that I say. And I expect that from everyone. Like, don't take my word for it. If I'm going to tell you something, if you ask me a question and I give you an answer, by all means, fact check me. Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But know for sure. And I like that about him because he'll ask me a question and, it may take a few minutes or maybe a couple of days later, he'll come back and say, well, I found this stuff. And we did. We were talking about something about like emotions a couple of days ago. And he texted me some links or some screenshots. He's like, hey, I thought about what we were talking about. And I'd love to come visit CFI. Oh, come on over. Yeah, let me know. Just give me a heads up, and I'll give you a tour. But yeah, he sent me a few screenshots and said, "Hey, I found this information. I'm wondering your thoughts on these." And we got into it, got into a discussion about it. And I pointed out a few things. He came back, countered, and then we went back and forth. But it was a good conversation. There was no fighting. There was no arguing. There was no name calling. It was a good conversation, and that's what I like about him. And we did that in person. We had so many. Oh, excuse me, I was burping. We had so many good conversations on the front porch of the Bel Air house, and then even a good one inside. But most of them were outside. People were taking smoke breaks, and I would just go out to join them, and we would get into a really deep question. So I like that about him, that he's curious and that he's willing to listen and willing to ask questions that might challenge. Because I think that's what we all need to do. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. So good question. All right. Wisdom. Yeah. Dawson is great. Such a good sense of humor and so easy to pick on. Yeah. I mean, it was really cool. I mean, he did call me an old man sometimes or alluded to that. You're so much older than me. So, I mean, and my knee-jerk response is fuck you, Dawson. But yeah, I mean, it was really good talking to him. And I like that. I enjoyed those conversations. All right. I think we have one more question in the queue. Ian, ever been tempted to go over Niagara Falls in a barrel? No. I've seen them plenty of times. I've been there quite a few times now and have seen how far it is. And it doesn't look so far when you're on top, but when you go down on the boat, when you're on the Maid of the Mist, and I've been on that a couple times now, and you're looking up and you're like, yeah, that's pretty freaking high. That's really up there. And I've seen some of the rocks and shit at the bottom. So nope. No desire whatsoever. I mean, for that to happen safely, you gotta hit the right spot, perfectly. Otherwise you're dead. You're dead. And if you don't have a good barrel, I think there was one person, if I remember correctly, there was one person that went over and survived. But I think only one. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. Sort of Ricken. It said the falls are haunted. So maybe find a ghost barrel. Oh man. Hey, occult life. Yeah. I've never heard that the falls were haunted. There's probably stories because I know quite a few people have tried and failed. Well, I mean, that's not accurate. I mean, there's a few people that tried and got caught before they could. But there are others that did make it over. They just didn't survive. So I guess that counts as you made it over. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they're still hanging out. I don't know. I've been there. I don't think you would know anyway. There is so much mist. I mean, there's a reason they call the boats the Maid of the Mist. I mean, when you go down there, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere. You have trouble seeing sometimes. Let's see, Daniel Reed, Expedition X did an entire episode on the hauntings of. Oh, now I'm gonna have to look that up. Damn it, Daniel. Let's see, Expedition X, Haunted Niagara Falls. What isn't haunted? Have I told you guys that my house is haunted? Only $50 a person to come visit and check it out. I can even supply some of the gadgets for a price. Tim Vickers, you got to close for 12 minutes. Make the extra hour. We're too close not to. No, Tim, stop promoting this. I want to go home. There are no more questions. We can wrap this up. Ha ha, bitch. They drained the falls a few years back. Found lots of bones. I remember seeing pictures of that. I think they have it up when you do one of the tours. They have pictures of the falls when they blocked it, and it's fascinating. Fascinating to see that. Let's see. Didn't see Daniel. What he said it was okay. Cool. I think we're all caught up. I don't see anything else. Hour four. Damn it, Bob. Just no. It would be funny. It would be funny. Can we go? Come on. Give me like 2 more questions. Let's go. We don't have to go a whole hour, but we have 8 minutes, less than 8 minutes to go. So let's see if we can go for 8 minutes. Can I talk? I'm sure I can talk. Let's see. I can start doing announcements. I asked a question about NDT. Well, Bob, we ignored you. You asked too many questions. No, I'm kidding. I love Bob. He's a really good guy. Last call for alcohol. All right. So some of the announcements I have, let's see. I got to go back on my calendar. Let's see. What are we at? We're in April, right? Okay. So April, don't have anything coming up the rest of this month, but we're at the end. So in May, let's see. Oh, May. I won't be there, but if you want to, in Pennsylvania, Pennhurst Asylum, I know May 18th is the Pennhurst Paracon. It's usually run, at least in part, by Bob Christopher, who's a friend of mine. And I actually do like going there. I'm going to miss it this year because my son is he's graduating college. So my wife told me I have to be there. So I'm going to be at my son's graduation instead of Pennhurst. Wendy, why? Kenny, what haunted item in your collection intrigues you the most and why? Oh, that's a good one. What intrigues you? Actually, one of the ones that intrigued me the most is the Jesus bat that I have. So it's a baseball bat that a gentleman burned, like wood burning. He burned crosses and various religious sayings all over the bat. And the reason he did that is because he thought that he thought that his house was infested by demons, and none of his family actually came to help him. And it was a sad situation because he basically thought different things in his house were being possessed and being like infested with demons. And he would use this bat to protect himself by smashing the shit out of his furniture, like bookshelves, TVs, radios, dishes, and stuff. He did pass away, and when the family finally went to help clean out the house, I mean, it was completely destroyed. And to me, and learning about the gentleman's history and stuff like that, he did have a history of mental disorder, And it was a shame because his family pretty much abandoned him. They didn't help him, and he ended up living almost like a hoarder, but with things that were destroyed because he seriously thought that his entire house was like possessed and infested with demons. And then his nephew, I believe, took the bat because he thought it was cool looking. And admittedly, yeah, it's cool looking. But he took it and he took it home and he put it on his fireplace mantle. And him and his partner were watching a movie one night, and he claims that he heard a growl, and it made him jump and made his partner jump, and they both turned around and they didn't see anything, but they immediately looked at the bat and they blamed the bat. So somehow they found me, they reached out. So the bat does not have Jesus on it. If you actually, this is a good time waster. If you give me just like 30 seconds, I will go get it for you. Hold on. Tim, entertain them. I'm back. I'm back. Got my bat. So here it is. That's what it is. And as you can see, up there it is. Let's see where to go. That way, our Lord protect. There's something else. I don't know what that says. In Jesus' name. This is sent. What's this say? Where are my glasses? Oh, wait, my glasses are here. Sonnet. Oh, Saint? No, that's not Saint. Saint Michael Archangel. I don't know. There's writing there too. I don't know what that first word is, but it says Michael Archangel. But I mean, it's all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I got the bat, and I put this on display as a kind of a lesson. Saint, is that what it says? I don't think it says saint. Let me get it closer, because it's like SAN something like a C and then TE. I don't know if that's like Sante, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means. Let's look it up. Let's see. Sante. Sante. Oh, wait. Sante Michael Archangel. Latin. Correct pronunciation. Oh. So that's supposed to be like this. So that's how it's spelled. Like, I guess the correct Latin pronunciation or spelling is SANCTE. It's yeah, that's interesting. Holy or sanctified? I don't know. I don't think so. I wasn't told that it was. I think the gentleman just did it. But I mean, he burned it in, and it looks like it's lacquered. Because it's got the glossy finish to it. It looks like it got a lacquer finish over top of it. I always point this out. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't think, if you see right on the top, I don't know if they're like fibers, like carpet fibers, or if it's hair. I don't know, but it's embedded into the wood. So I don't know what that is. But yeah, I usually use that as like a talking point on check your family members. Check on your friends and family members if they live alone, if they show any signs of being unstable or behavior issues or something like that. I mean, don't diagnose it, but if there's cause for concern, reach out, check on family members, check on friends like this, see if you can get them some help if they need it. But don't just ignore them. Don't ignore them. Pay attention, look for the signs. And if you see the signs, if you see something that's disturbing, do something about it. At least try to do something about it. Don't ignore people, because then when you do, shit like this happens. And it shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't. And it really falls on the family that just disregarded him. And it is sad. I see the comments. Yeah, it is sad. It really, it kind of bums me out when I talk about that, because it's a very, it's a sobering thought. And I'm not using that. Sobering is actually the appropriate word. But it's a sobering thought when you start talking about this and realizing that, like, there are people out there with issues that need help. So yeah, I try. Oh, look, we are in it. We're in it. It says we've been live for 3 hours and 1 minute. So we are in the 4th hour. Oh my God, you guys made me do it. All right. So there you go. That's one of my most interesting items. And there's a couple other items out here. I mean, where we have, if you guys are ever in the Buffalo area, always know that you can reach out. Reach out to me. Let me know if you're going to be in the area. I will be more than happy to take you on a tour. We have a whole display case that is dedicated to items. Excuse me. Oh my God, burping again. Items that were seized by the FDA because they were machines that were developed or invented by chiropractors to diagnose diseases and also to help with pain and stuff like that. And all these items were seized because they were dangerous, because they didn't even, either they were found not to diagnose anything or actually do anything at all to the body or to diagnose or anything like that. Some of the items were actually found to cause harm, like a lot of harm, like big time harm. So they were seized and they went into a collection. I think, I'm not sure, but I think the gentleman whose collection it was part of maybe worked for the FDA, and all these things were not destroyed, but basically thrown in the trash. And he collected them and he donated the collection to CFI, and we have them, and they've been in the basement for a while until we acquired some additional display cases. And Tim Binga, who runs the library, said, hey, you want something to put in there? We have some cool stuff. And I went digging, and I mean, the stuff is worth seeing because of the retro look. It has that 1950s retro look to it, which is, I love. I absolutely love that kind of style. So when you see it, it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie, like all of them. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's like 7 or 8 devices in the display case. And I mean, I'm not talking like little things. These are big. One looks like a suitcase. So yeah, if you want to come out one day, let me know. I love giving tours. I absolutely love giving tours. All right. Are we good? Are we good? Kenny Special T, watch out. The special T is done. That's why I need to close up or wrap up, because there's no more special T. I got to go get more. I got to start bringing like a pitcher and put it into the fridge. Probably not paranormal. Hello, all. Probably not paranormal. I like that. That's good. Oh, all right. So some announcements. Let me switch, because I haven't done this in a while. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Squid Game Bob's announcements. Yes. So May 25th, I will be in Raleigh, North Carolina, because the Triangle Skeptics that are down there, they're hosting a Skeptic Camp, which is basically a one-day mini conference. You come out, there's going to be lectures. I know I'm going to be there. Rob Palmer is going to be there. He's going to be talking. I don't know what he's talking about. He told me what his talk was about, but I totally forget. Susan Gerbic will be down there, and several others that are not confirmed yet, but I will. Let me see if I can do. I'll post a link because I know I've seen it. I know they started getting the speakers list up together. So Triangle Skeptics. Let me see if that works. Triangle Skeptics. Oh, there's the website. Triangle Skepticamp. There it is. There's my face. My face is on there. Oh, damn. They're going to have, yeah, lots of speakers. So let me put this link in here. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. Let me say good night. Good night, Ian. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Hope to see you next week. So I just posted the link. Hopefully that works. And you can check it out if you want to. What else do I got? So that'll actually be in town down in Raleigh from like the 24th to, and I think I come home the 27th. So I'll be down there for a little bit. On June 15th and maybe 16th, I plan on going down to West Virginia for the Grafton Monster Festival. I think I'm going to be hanging out with Tim Vickers and Daniel Reed because Daniel Reed is going to be a presenter. He's going to talk at this monster festival. And I had a free weekend and I'm thinking I think I might go down. I just got to find a place to stay. I might just sleep in my car. Who knows? But I'm going to go down there. So if you're interested in the area, go to the West Virginia Skeptic Society Facebook page. I think there's more information on there. And if not, I think Tim will know a little bit more about it. He might be able to provide a link. What else? For my comic book nerds in the area in Buffalo, June 28th to 30th is the Nickel City Comic Con. So I was there last year. It was pretty good. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of the Buffalo Ghostbusters were there, which was cool. I got one of their patches. I think you can see it. Where is it? It's actually right there. Because the ghost is holding a chicken wing, a buffalo wing, but they don't call it buffalo wings up here. You're not allowed to say that because it's weird. Let's see. I know that October 24th to 27th is SciCon this year in Las Vegas, and I'll be out there. I'll be out there doing a workshop with Jim Underdown and enjoying the rest of the conference. I know I'll be working my ass off that whole weekend. And there's a few other things in the works. Oh, November 2nd and 3rd, I think. It might be just November 2nd. I'm not sure. The Para Unity Conference in Woodbridge, New Jersey. It's a paranormal conference, but I love going to it because I do have a lot of fun there. They let me set up. They're really, really nice to me. They let me set up my entire Skeptical and Center for Inquiry booth there, so I get to engage with a lot of people. So I do enjoy that. And that's about it for now. The rest of the stuff I'm still working on. So let's see. Question. Dr. Deb says, Occult Life had a question. Did they? Occult? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let's see. Do you see it? Let's see. So in cold temperature, thank you, Tim. In cold temperatures, electricity has less resistance. Less resistance mean the flashlight doesn't heat up. The spring can't expand without heat, so if it's freezing temperature, should the flashing. Let me see, where to go. So the flashing, because it's not coming up on. I guess the rest of it go on random. All right, so this is. I don't think this is entirely accurate. So when you turn the flashlight on, yeah, when things are colder, it's condensed, so you have more resistance. When it heats up, no, that's the opposite. Let me think this through. Cold. Let me make sure what I'm talking about here. Resistance. Let's see, electrical resistance. That's a good question. Affected by temperature. Temperature. Electricity flows better at low temperatures. Yes, no temperature at which it stops flowing. So it does continue to flow. The colder, yes, I think it runs better, and then the more it heats up, the less resistance it gets because of the temperature. But understand it's the bulb in the flashlight. Where is it? I have it. There it is. So when you're holding this, even though this is cold, you're going to have power flowing pretty easy. It's when it heats up that things start expanding, and that's the magic that happens. The flashlight does heat up because the bulb that's in front here, the incandescent bulb that's blinding you right now, that heats up the reflector. So the chrome reflector that's inside there, that's what heats up from the bulb, the heat that's given off from the bulb. That reflector expands and breaks connection with the body, because it's you have to unscrew it. You have to unscrew it for it to make connection. So when it expands, it pushes back and turns it off. So when you heat it up, you get it warmed up. So I usually like either you're holding it in your hand, which warms it up, and then when you turn the lamp on, I usually let it go for so like a minute or so, like not even a minute, but it warms up. Then I'll get it to that sweet spot. And once I get it to that sweet spot, it's already heated up. So when it starts cooling down, now it expands. It contracts. I'm sorry. It contracts and it regains connection. And then it starts to heat up again. It expands. It loses connection. And there's your cycle. So it's freezing temperature. It should not correct. So even if it's cold out, it's still going to work. I mean, you're still going to have the cold affecting the outside of it, but the lamp is going to still heat up the reflector inside here. So everything that's happening is really inside. You're going to have cold outside, but the lamp is going to heat up the reflector, which is going to cause the internal connection to disconnect. So yeah, it'll still work. You might not get as much of a cycle, so it may take a little bit longer to go back and forth between, or actually, it might take a little longer to disconnect, turn off, but it'll be quicker to turn back on because you have the outside temperature. The lower temperature outside will affect the casing and might help cool it down. Then how does it turn off again? Okay, doing several experiments with this. So yeah, I usually do this. I mean, I've done it at different places when it's been kind of cold, like not freezing, but where I've worn a jacket. Like I've had a jacket on, I've had this work. So to answer the other question, this is actually a really good discussion. I like this. Then how does it turn off again? There's a cycle that goes. So it really is a cycle where, again, you heat up, the lamp heats up the reflector, it expands, loses connection. And because it loses connection, the lamp is no longer on. So there's no heat source. So then everything starts cooling down again. And when the reflector cools down, it contracts and shrinks, less pressure on the spring, so it connects again. So when it connects again, lamp turns on, heats up the reflector, expands, pushes away. So there's your cycle on and off. The temperature differences may need to be rather extreme to be noticeable difference. Yeah. So I think if you're in a room like now, I'm in a room temperature controlled, not a big deal. It'll work pretty well. But if I'm in a room that has no heat and maybe open to the elements and it's wintertime, you might see a few seconds difference, but I don't think you're going to see a big difference. I'm going to just try and set this up. Let's see if that works. Stay. See if that comes on or not. Can I see that? Yeah, I can see that. We'll see if it comes on. Good question though. I really like that. Oh, there it goes. Where'd it go? Do I see it? Put it over here. Maybe you can see it better. There it goes. Now it's going to go out. Oh. Dimming, 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 dimming. Dim. Go out. It's holding on. I've been using this a lot lately. So basically what happens between the contacts, you get these two flat surfaces and little, I want to say the little mountains, like little tiny, very, very teeny tiny mountains develop where there's contact points. So you have these, instead of making a complete flat connection, you have these hills and valleys, and the hills make contact first. So there's a very slight connection. And then over time, these build up. And if you do it too much, you can actually ruin the flashlight. It'll be harder to make this happen. But yeah, it'll start blinking. I had it on last night. I did a live stream, or the night before. I think last night. You have to get it right in the. Let's see if that works. There. We'll see if that works. Okay. Go into sauna and try it in there. Look for differences in time between freezer, normal, and sauna. That's a good idea. Yeah, I agree. Using, oh, there it goes. It just went on. Now we should wait until it should go off in a minute or so. When it heats up again, it should go off. But again, like I actually had that on for like 2 hours the other night when I was doing another live stream, just to show the guy, because the host had talked about it in the beginning, and that he had seen my video that I did on it. Up there, it went off. He saw my video and it kind of bummed him out because he thought it was real. And so as we were talking, I had set it up in the background before he brought me on. So it was actually going on like this, on and off in the background. But it will definitely go on and off. No ghosts required. No questions or anything like that. It'll just do this until the batteries run out. Hour 5. No, Tim Vickers, we will not go to hour 5. Ugh. All right. I think I wrapped it up. I think I'm good. We're out of questions. Everyone, thank you so much. Oh, it went out again. Thank you so much for hanging out. I mean, this is great. We went into hour 4. This is definitely the longest show we've ever done. We saw so many holes on both sides. We thought it was real too. Tons of questions on frequency. So yeah, I mean, it'll work like this. It'll keep going until the battery runs down. And then that's when it stops. But yeah, it'll keep going like this. I don't have to do anything. And I think that's people need to understand, like, this is a trick. And also I do, let's see, I'm not going to get it, but I have a push button flashlight. It's almost the same size as the mag light, but it just has the push button on the back. And I bring that and say, hey, if ghosts can really do this, then here, make this one do it. If you can make this one light up, I'll be convinced. I'll be convinced. Do it. But when you have to purposely manipulate this to make it do that, it's not a communication thing. It is by definition a trick. It's a waste of time, to be honest. I mean, this is pure manipulation, what's going on here. So work something out to test the frequency. All right. So with that, I'm going to end this show. The frequency is an issue. That's probably, well, I would attribute that. Do you mean like the frequency of when it goes on and off, like how many times it goes on and off, or the timing between when it goes off and on? I mean, is that what you're talking about? Because because I'm not sure. Most of the time, I agree. Because there has to be standards. Yes. Yeah. Because I'm not. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that'll depend on like temperature, battery life, wear and tear, on the connections itself, and also design. I mean, these things are not identical pieces. They are all made, and they have their unique what's the word, characteristics. So it's gonna range from different places. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that there's some credit to it because there's a difference in frequency of when it turns on and off. It still comes back to the basic fact that it has to be manipulated to work. And when you have to do this, when you have to set it up like that, it's a trick. There is nothing else to it. And the fact that we can demonstrate it, that it keeps going on and off, just sitting here doing that with no questions, no interaction, nothing. I mean, this is just pure science. That's what's happening. So I understand why people believe it, but the understanding of the science behind it is important, because I think there's other things that we can be doing rather than playing with a flashlight. So, all right, with that, I'm out. Shut up, Bob. I am out. I'm looking up. I'm not looking at any of the comments anymore. I'm going to my video tabs over here. I am queuing up the ending sequence, which I have to work on because Wisdom actually wrote me a song for my outro that I have to do a new outro for, so I can incorporate the song, because it's really, really good. I really like it. So with that, everyone, have a great weekend. Stay safe, and remember, never stop learning. And I'll see you next week. Bye.